treat, kind of. It's one of those things that it sneaks up on you, and it can be scary. But Bushwhacker, if you get the chance to try Bushwhacker in South Florida, Jeff, it is the tastiest drink I've ever had in my entire life in any country in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure it's delicious. I'm looking at what's in it.
But I like Jello shots, but it really that will catch up.
You can also taste the Jello shots. It does taste vodka. It does taste like whatever liquor you're putting into it. You can taste it. This you cannot, and it's a 151 floater. Like it's a shot of 151 on top after they've frozen like the liqueur rum cream mixture.
Do you guys like? I've been to many parties where they have like that Jägermeister thingy, or I don't know even what the fuck it is.
Jaeger bombs?
Where it's on the ice machine, like they have an ice sculpture, and then it comes down, and you have to put your mouth. What is it?
It's like an ice luge or something.
Yeah, you're at the bottom of some type of ice sculpture, and then you drink this shit. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Jaeger was the one thing I missed out on. I was just never a fan of it. Everyone of my generation, Jaeger.
I liked it back in the day.
I was never into Jaeger or Goldschlager.
Goldschlager. What Goldschlager?
Yeah, I was never into it, and I was never into gin and tonic, none of that stuff.
I like gin and tonic.
Yeah, I love gin buckets. That was like a college staple. Like it was a classy night. And then we also had, I went to school in the South. We had this thing called Everclear, which is rough, but that's what we made our punch out of. Whenever you see like those college frat movies and they're making big.
Hey, Pat, do you think anyone went to college and didn't use Everclear when they made their punch?
A ton of my any of my friends who went to school in the Northeast, Everclear wasn't allowed to be sold in the Northeast. So like none of them knew what that was. They also like. And then when I went to school in the South, the other thing is we used to call cases of beer racks. They were called 30 racks. But in the South, they only sell beers in cases of 24. So like
we were
drinking laws around the country it's wild.
We used Everclear when we did our outdoor events or Bacardi 151.
In college, I was in a fraternity, but I was there just at the moment where we went from beer to LSD.
Oh, that seems like the right timing for you.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Really, every Friday night we would drop acid and listen to Dylan. But Saturday nights I would throw the Hawaiian party. We had a ton of sand in the fraternity house, and that took forever to get rid of. And then we stole a tiki god from in front of a.
What fraternity were you at?
It was Phi Sigma Delta. Now it's ZBT.
Oh, I've heard of them before.
No, it's the big Jewish fraternity.
One of them.
Yeah.
Does this D stand for Zion?
It does now, motherfucker.
Nice.
Zionist boys of the Torah.
Did you have one of these?
Yeah, two of those.
What are they?
That is not hygienic.
It wasn't ZBT. What's the other big Jewish fraternity? Because I went to visit them.
Abai.
Yeah.
Abai.
I went to visit them in Emory. One of my friends was in it, and they had fucking phenomenal parties.
Guys, I'm gonna go set up my Christmas bush. I mean, my Hanukkah bush.
You're going down on your roommate?
No, it's the Hanukkah bush.
And you're putting it up before American Thanksgiving? What the fuck?
Well, whose fault is it you guys are doing it so late? You guys like to waste time.
It's not our fault that you guys do in Canada weird holidays, okay? But I will be texting all of my Canadian friends and saying Happy Thanksgiving. They're like, we're over that.
Do you have a version of Thanksgiving?
They do.
What time of the year is it?
A few weeks ago, I think.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, I think it might be in like August or something. I don't know.
What, Russian Thanksgiving?
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Canadian.
No, we just had it.
That's what I said.
It was October.
Where does Thanksgiving rank on your like favorite holidays?
It's up there.
But it's a
I like cooking for. I like some of the things I cook for Thanksgiving a lot.
What's your favorite thing you make?
Puerto Rican turkey.
Nice.
Oh, I've had that with all the like the citrus and they stuff it in the inside garlic, citrus, and I've had that once before.
Not exactly, but it's called pabachon. They basically prepare the turkey the same way they would have done the lechon, the pig. So very good. And my fresh cranberry sauce is ridiculous.
And
How do
I
you
like
do
to
stuffing?
make my own as well.
How do you take your stuffing?
Well, it depends what kind of stuffing. I usually do stuffings.
I make
I
a sage dressing.
Yeah, I do one with plantains.
Which that makes sense with the turkey we're describing. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These chefs are gonna be fisting a bird, huh?
Definitely going to be elbows
Yeah.
deep in a bird.
Yeah, that's the one thing with the prep on the turkey is you literally have to put spices under every inch of skin. So you really are molesting the bird for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I do that too. And I actually I still stuff my bird, and then in the last little bit, I take out the stuffing, put it in with the rest of the dressing, bake it, stir it in, bake it, because it's more flavorful, but then it gets up to temperature, so I'm not worried about eating dressing that isn't the right temperature, and then finish cooking the bird, and then the bird tastes good too because it's had all the fresh sage and onion and all that goodness in there.
I usually brine mine and then I smoke it, but right before I put it in the smoker, I put mustard all over it with the mustard seed. Keeps all the moisture, all the flavor. It's always my turkey's never dry.
My turkey's never dry too. I don't know why people have trouble with.
I don't know either.
I don't get it.
They overcook it too high of heat.
I use a bag to cook mine, and then I loosen the skin. I also brine mine, Jason, but I loosen the skin, and then underneath the skin, I rub it with butter, and then I also put herbs under the skin, and then
do you play some freaky music?
Of course. I mean,
You still there?
I was trolling about.
Well, let me respond to that.
Quick point, real quick. If
okay,
it's like the third term, then Obama will meet him at the match. Go ahead.
He would not have Trump would lose.
So Patty, by design, I am an optimist. I will look to
So you're a change
figure out what optimistic scenario is there to get from a bad situation.
You're a change agent.
Yes.
Yeah, my cousin's a change agent, and she does the same bullshit. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I could see him cutting
federal employees, which will affect unemployment, but by 20%. Just because it won't affect the efficiency.
When she graduate with all the AZ requirements for a UC. I don't know.
Hang on for a second. Like me,
Are you finished with your point, Ryan? Because I like
cut really quickly. You said targeted. Okay, children are not being targeted. Okay, women are not being targeted.
That's a lie.
That's
Israel
not.
was targeted. Israel was
Israel was
targeted.
That's a lie. That's a lie. We've already seen.
They went in
We've
there
already
with
seen.
the plan.
We've already
They went in
seen.
there
We've
with
already
the
seen
plan.
posts. We've already seen posts from soldiers on the ground bragging about destroying schools and cutting off water.
Yes,
Multiple
they had a plan
tens
to
of
go in
hundreds
there.
of videos. Hundreds of videos and pictures of these people bragging. So what I ask Israelis, right, is what is your tangible expression against this type of behavior in your military? What do you do to make sure that these things, these attitudes do not pervade throughout your military? What do you do?
Yeah. Look, I'm not part of the military, number one. Number two is that if and when, hang on, cool, see, just mute up for a second here. If there have been situations where people have been killed and it's outside the bounds of war, especially if it's children and so forth, then I call it out. We should all call it out. There's no question about it. Without a shadow of a doubt. And you're going to find isolated incidences along those lines that occur. Some of them deliberate, some of them are done by accident. Proof of that is that three Israelis who were waving a white flag were killed by the IDF by mistake. This is what happens in war. Mistakes do occur. I'm not suggesting that every single situation
I'm not talking about mistakes. That's why I said what I said. I wasn't talking about mistakes. I said targeted. We're talking about being targeted. We're not talking about mistakes right now.
Israel was targeted October 7th.
Because
October 7th,
there's one thing you said, like, it must have been like 10 minutes ago. That's the issue with, is like the war started when Hamas chose to abduct and murder people or kill people. And it's like, I don't know, like, was that a war? Like, are they capable of, like, is this a war? Like, it's not really a war between anything like equal size.
They knew the results of it.
Look, I mean, they knew well exactly what was going to happen.
How would you know?
They planned very well to be able to go into Israel.
Let's just pause there. Like, what exactly did they know?
What do you mean?
They knew the plan of
you just said that they knew. I'm sorry. Your mic sounds mad far away. It's super hard to hear you. And you're also.
They knew
what did they know exactly?
When they attacked, they were coming back after them. They knew what they were doing had results. Revenge.
Obviously.
They knew what they were doing, and they knew what they were doing was wrong, so they planned to be attacked back.
No, bro, that doesn't make
Because they
like,
took
it doesn't make
They knew because
sense.
they took
Because, like, I get you.
They were getting
Like, okay, no, you could say perhaps that they knew they would be.
prisoners of
Brother,
war. That's
please,
what they are.
I'd like to respond to what you said. You could say that they knew that there would be
I'm not
repercussions.
your brother though, but
Yo, cool.
Yeah,
C,
you
cool.
sound like
C,
a fucking cracker, bro.
cool. C. See, you came in late, but I'm gonna just run you down on the game real quick. There's a 3-strike rule. If you interrupt, you will get a strike. Sometimes you might not even know that you got a strike. So I'm gonna start it now for you because I'm gonna just assume that you didn't know, even though you just said you knew. But I'm gonna just assume you didn't know, give you benefit of the doubt, and give you a clean slate. So starting now, if you interrupt once, you will get a strike. If you interrupt twice, you might get 2 strikes. So just letting that be.
what do they do?
I think it's very obvious.
But
I
we're
was
talking,
literally
and we
just
should be
about to
all
agree with you, bro.
encouraging to put our input here, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to give you some insight because they knew what was going on. That's why when they attacked October 7th, they knew the results would be taking POWs and then them coming after them. So they knew they were hiding behind Gaza and the Palestinians, Hamas.
stereotypical one is you go to like a family member's house and like they do all the cooking and it's all on them. Like my favorite ones have been like the Friendsgivings when you're away from family and it's like when I lived in Tampa, it was like a transient community, so there was like 20 friends would come together and it was like more of a potluck. Everyone brought a side and like the host would probably do the ham, the turkey, like the proteins and everything like that, but everyone else bring, those were always like the most fun Thanksgivings, in my opinion, but I would.
That area, like bro, 80% of the people in Gaza are already refugees from an earlier evacuation, an earlier humanitarian crisis, an earlier chapter in Israel's ethnic cleansing. Unless Israel can reconcile with its past, like it's not good for security. It's not good for like people that like me that want to enjoy Israel and also Palestine. But it's also not good for Israeli business.
This isn't a conventional fight. This is actually this isn't a conventional fight. It's actually, one of them is operating as terrorists. One of them, I mean, he heard me first. So like, it's not a normal fight though. You're basically, what you're doing is that you have one group, they're like terrorists. They're basically fighting guerrilla warfare style. Then you have a conventional military who has to, operate by the Geneva Convention's, code of conduct during war. Whereas, similar to like how insurgents in Iraq would behave, or even the Taliban in Afghanistan, they don't abide by any of that. So they slip in and out of civilian populations. That's what they use as cover. So it's not. It's kind of hard to compare. Like if you look at Russia and Ukraine, you have two conventional forces. They're fighting each other in uniform. It's a completely different style of war. And it's also way less likely for you to have civilian casualties because you're not in an urban center and you basically are only fighting each other. That's the real big difference.
Yeah, well, I've got to ask you a question. What do you know? How would you rate your knowledge on the history of the region? Honestly.
This is like almost like a go-to question from Israelis. I can't rate my knowledge. I don't know, I feel like I have a fairly good timeline of the region since 1947.
Alright. So, you said something about ethnic cleansing. Maybe I'll just hone in on that. Do you have any idea how many Arabs and Muslims chose to be able to stay in Israel in 1948?
How many chose to?
Yeah.
You mean of those that have the option? I didn't know that any had the option.
Absolutely. People had the option of accepting Israel.
Well, no, not some people did. Some people.
Yeah, okay. So maybe I can break down a few statistics. In 1948, there was approximately 156,000 Arab/Muslims who were living in Israel at the time. They chose peace. They chose to be able to stay. They chose to be able to bring up their families there and to be able to flourish in Israel. Today, those numbers have gone over 2.1 million people. They have flourished. They have had support of the Israeli government. They have equal opportunities. They are lawyers, they are doctors, they are solicitors, they're accountants. They're people who fight in the IDF.
Immigrants.
No, they're people who... No, not immigrants. We're talking about people who identify as Arab/Muslims that live in Israel. That's what I'm talking about.
I feel like you're about to use legal stuff.
Yeah, so, look, they are numbered approximately about 2.1 million today. So if there was this idea of ethnic cleansing, it would have happened a long time ago.
I mean, if you're talking about the population that exists within Israel, and if we're talking about a concept of ethnic cleansing, we're obviously talking about the region beyond Israel, neighboring. That's obviously what we're talking about. So we're talking about the nationalistic attitude that
So why would they get rid of the
That's one strike, Cool C.
Okay, so what about the Sinai Peninsula?
What about it?
Israel wanted in a war. They gave it back for peace. That was the deal. There was no expansionist ideals. There's no ethnic cleansing.
Okay, well, that was the thing when he was responding to something after. And he also says something that I think is really untrue that I want to attack precisely. Is that really it was an error of omission. It's like I mentioned, oh yeah, my knowledge dates back to 1947, and you said, oh, there's a lot of areas that chose to stay, which is really, I was like, but you didn't mention anything about any expulsion or any Nakba or any data. Like you didn't mention that. Why is that?
Well, because I was focusing on the issue, which was ethnic cleansing. Got it. And yeah, there was approximately 700,000 people who left, who were either leaving of their own volition or were forced out or were killed. There was a combination of it.
So why you miss that? I don't get what? I don't understand how y'all can reckon with history, but you're like, oh, there's no ethnic cleansing, and you just don't mention the history where the people were ethnic cleansed. You think that's the thing?
Yeah, I mean, you could like reference even like Israeli publications like talking about like Ben Gurion like ordering people to like place like poisonous chemicals within like Arab like water wells, like civilian water wells, like and detailing that even like Israeli publications will tell you exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've heard of those, and I believe they're untrue. But that's okay. We can all go back.
What is your contention? What is your like tangible contention?
Hang on.
That one
I was
specifically.
responding to you. I was responding to you.
I'm just meeting you. I'm just meeting you at your disagreement real quick.
I'm responding to you. But what I'm asking you now is, do you ever bring up the fact that Israel is like no other country in the world that is surrounded by fucking enemy states, by terrorist groups wanting to be able to destroy it? There's no other country.
I think that like just to answer your question, because I feel like wait, go ahead.
Do you ever bring that up?
Yeah, that's an aspect of settler colonialism. Like you go somewhere that's foreign, you build a fort, and you're like, oh, everybody want to kill it. It's like,
I'm not.
But it is. It is.
That's kind of what I was gonna say. It's like, bro, like.
Bro, the people that have come to the land, they could have come with peace. They could have been like, oh, we want to buy all this land. We want to still not take off the farm people that have been working on this land for generations and still employ them. They could have come peacefully. That was what they said. We want complete control, and like that is kind of where the shit happens.
Well, okay. Maybe we can just talk about this. The United Nations, okay, at the time was dividing up multiple territories, including, let's say, for example, India and Pakistan. In 1947, they divided up that entire region and created two states, one which was Pakistan, one which was India. 14 million people had lost their land and were displaced. 1 million people were killed in the process, but two countries were created. Jordan in 1946 was not a state. It was created by the United Nations League of Nations. Okay, that was the British mandate of Palestine, but it became Transjordan and then was called Jordan. Also, at that time in 1948.
I'm older than you.
You're not older than me.
No, I'm older than you are.
Hey, Troy. We need some help. We need some ideas.
Yeah. Maybe Naga have any ideas when I come in? I'm already friends with Naga. Did I accidentally add this for it says no, I guess I'm not. Naga had
Seeding the clouds. That happened back in 1957 when they were trying to drown out Cuba, and they started doing that with the support of General Electric when they were helping the military use this that weaponry in order to be able to seed the clouds to change the weather in certain geological locations. We're in a great shifting right now. And there is a conscious shifting that's also coming that they're trying to distort. That we as humans, it's better to have it than never need it than
And that's how I'm serving 2 life sentences for a crime I didn't commit.
So it's a 9 mil. It's a 9 mil, and I think that's a decent gun to start out with. Definitely take it, get comfortable at the gun range shooting it. I have a trash gun that I keep, which is like a little compact Taurus. But for me and my husband, our more grounded and well-rounded weapons we keep in the house. So that's definitely something you'll want to keep in the house, not necessarily carry on your person, because if someone takes it, especially being for $1,500, that sounds like. Let me look at this.
I think that's a Walter PvP.
Yeah.
I only say that because I've been looking at that pistol recently myself.
Yeah, because I just got my husband FNX Tactical 45 ASP.
Because they discontinued the free stuff into that pistol.
Guns?
Well, that one's really nice.
Asking to get pulled up. I don't know if she put up her hand or not, but I just saw the chat. I was trying to scroll through.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking at my screen. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Sarah. If anybody else wants to come up, just say so. Dr. Erica, I didn't see you either.
I feel like that's the one true American food, right? Like if like people from other cultures were thinking like, what is like American food? Barbecue is probably like the only thing that's really ours, right?
Nope.
Yeah, pretty American.
Not really. There's a lot of other places that smoke and grill. A lot of the places in the world. Still their methods. Mexico does it.
Israel is, and everybody in Israel is angelic and does everything by the books. And
but in a sense, you kind of
are.
are.
Okay, but when people like you, right, tend to be able to hyper criticize Israel, then there's an understanding as to the reason why we might be a little bit dubious about little things that you decide to be able to pick out, especially when it comes to having a conversation about big picture things. You tend to be able to go back to these little cherry picking points. Got it? That's why.
I mean, so like it's you're disagreeing with this specific story because of the suspicion that anti-Semitism pervades even through Israel's own publications. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, look at me. Guess what? There are people who are called self-hating Jews. I hate to tell you. There are people in Israel. Okay,
do you think every Jewish person who is against Israel is a self-hating Jew?
Let me finish. No, now you're trying to create an argument that I'm not trying to create. That's garbage. I'm saying there are people who are called self-hating Jews. There are people in Israel who don't like Israel. There are people in Israel who don't like particular policies of the government, or even for that matter other parties. But guess what? That is democracy. And Israel is the only fucking democracy in the whole region. Okay, the Arabs and Muslims that live in Israel today have got better fucking human rights than any other Arab Muslim country in the fucking world. Have you focused on that as a topic? Why not put that up as a topic? Why not focus on that? Why not focus on, what's happening to the women in Iran? Why not have a look at, why is it that 90% or whatever it is of the terrorist organizations in the world are Islamists? Why focus on
so
Israel?
we're on like four different points.
Okay, we are. I'm trying to point out to you.
This is common with people whose arguments are inconsistent. They will jump from point to point without giving you a chance to actually meet them at whatever point. They say it's like building up an argument, so that like by the time that they're actually like in a heated discussion with somebody, they can say, "Oh, I named 5 things," but really you didn't go through any of them with anybody. It's just tropes and propagandic devices. So like to answer your question, which was really hard to track, very challenging to track, but your question about why I don't bring up these things and specifically why I don't bring up the idea that Israel is surrounded by enemies, I think that it's very convenient for any warmongering nation to say that they're surrounded by enemies. That's like literally what would happen if you found your nation in violence. So like, it's not something that
I get that you get a hard on every time Israel's mentioned. Tell me one thing. When is it that Israel has initiated a war? Hang on for a second. give me a date, give me a time. In the last 75 years, Israel has initiated a fucking war.
Are you familiar with the Samson option?
Are you familiar with the Samson option? This is so funny.
You're telling me that Israel is warmongering. I give you 75 years
I hope
to be able to tell me.
Happening here.
No, hang on for a second. I give you 75 years as a scope to be able to tell me, right, an example of one time where Israel has initiated a fucking war. You can't give me a damn thing. You're full of shit. You've got bias. Just own it. Take some time out. Do some reading and learn.
See,
you have got bias.
This is what people do who don't want the everyday layman to have a discussion on any topic that they disagree with people on, because
look, you can
what
play
normally happens
card,
when
okay?
people what normally happens.
Card. I get it. That's exactly what you're doing.
I made the strike system very clear, and the strike system is only implemented. The strike system is only implemented. The strike system is only implemented when people get to the point to proving that they can't have a civil discussion. So like, this literally is your third strike. So I would actually like to continue the conversation, but I wouldn't be myself, and I wouldn't be staying true to my discipline and my values if I didn't boot you from the room. So I gotta boot you from the room. This is your third strike. I'm sorry.
Loser.
I can't believe you can't take it.
It's just about having discussions.
He's telling you the truth though. He's telling you what you won't even go back on what he was telling you, because what he was saying was actually true. And part of the discussion.
Bro, he hasn't engaged critically with anything we asked him about. The Liquid's party preference towards imperialism. He literally gave us why are women in Iran persecuted. That has nothing to do with imperialist attitudes that pervade through Israeli military. It has nothing to do with it. But this is common.
Has never started.
This is common with people.
When has Israel started?
I already brought up the same thing. Israel has threatened the United States of America with nuclear war if we pulled aid when we threatened to do so.
No.
That happened. That's real life. Just look it up. The Samson option. It's real life.
When was that?
Hi, Lefty.
Just look it up.
This is Joy. I have a question.
You can't even give you the whole thing either.
I'm literally giving you the name of the thing.
What?
Like,
I have a question.
Can't hold your hand. I'm not your mother. I'm not your father.
I have a question.
Yeah, but you do that to other people.
What, do you want me to send the link of the Samson option? You don't know how to spell Samson? SAMSON OPTION. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm wondering what your opinions are with the election of Donald Trump. What do you think he might do? Because I believe he's a Zionist, and I'm just concerned with the election. I'm just wondering what you think is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think every president is a Zionist, but for sure Joe Biden was one of the most Zionist presidents that we've had. And, Trump was competing with Kamala over who likes Israel more, but, we're going to see if he's as anti-war as his followers love to claim that he is. He's talking about finish the job. He wants this thing wrapped up by the time he's elected. We'll see how all of that plays out, because as we can tell, Netanyahu is bloodthirsty, and he won't stop. So we'll see how it plays out, honestly. I don't know too much about a lot of his picks. RFK is a really weird pick to me. I'm very curious as to see how that's going to play out, because he has borderline left ideologies in some senses, but then it's like, bro, it's almost like he's just a fantasy dreamer, you know what I mean? Like he thinks more than he can act. He's gonna have access to a lot of resources though, so I don't know. We'll see if all of his so-called health improvements will actually improve our health and turn out to be the same price or not too much more expensive than they already are, because prices are going up. But yeah, I think the war will still continue.
Are you following Elon Musk?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that we openly accept the idea that it's okay for someone to just buy their way into the White House, because that's essentially what has happened here, which is so sad. And it happens to be a person that owns one of the most popular social media platforms in North America. So that's another slight.
I've heard that
My question is though, he has a government contract for space. So why wouldn't you
I mean, what's in space that's going to take care of our country? Like,
Well, we have Space Force and the opportunity to put what Elon Musk did today. 3 rockets have taken off and actually put satellites in motion. I think one was for, I believe it's Italy, but I can't remember. I read it about a half an hour ago. I'm driving when I stopped. But
yeah, they just launched today.
3 of them.
And President Trump was there.
wait, so he's launching rockets to do what?
To put satellites up
for Wi-Fi.
The world.
So we can have Wi-Fi?
Right.
I got you.
But that's also a weapon tracking system.
Mapping and global.
I mean, it sounds great on paper. You know, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It just begs the question, like, who has control of these institutions, and what are their political motives? What are their incentives for action towards different groups?
Well, that's one reason why Elon said he can't hire someone who is not an American citizen, because you come in as a nationalist or whatever your country is, and you come work for him. He has a government contract that requires him to only have American citizens to work.
Yeah, he's an American nationalist.
To work for his company, and because if someone came in from Iran and worked here, I'm just using Iran, and they left this country, they could take that nuclear information or space information back to their country. Now, once you're a citizen, you pledge loyalty, you give your citizenship up potentially to your home country. You are now a certified American citizen. He could hire you.
Yeah, Elon Musk himself is an immigrant. I don't know. Honestly, it's like, Love Steve brought up a good point. These people are gonna, it's like you have to gauge what people's motivations are. Are they going to consider?
He's the descendant. His great grandfather was a Nazi.
Or is it gonna be something? I get it. Yeah.
What you said, Jay?
His great grandfather was a Nazi.
Joy, my fault. Yeah, I mean his great grandfather, his fucking dad wasn't he like an emerald miner or some shit like that? Like he
was American.
I know, but they're from East Germany.
You talking about Elon Musk's dad?
His grandfather was a Nazi.
Oh, his grandfather was a Nazi. Well, you know, there's a Nazi in Mossad. They have a Nazi.
Well, it's amazing that the space development actually brought over all the Nazi scientists to run American space, NASA, which was crazy. You talk about that. So maybe he's part of that Space Force. Brought over all the doctors or whatever that came over from the CIA and all that when they brought them over here to America.
Well, yeah, I think Nazism was like, my fault, right?
You're talking about Operation Paperclip, where at least at least 1900 German Nazis on the rat line when Germany knew they were gonna lose. And Russia, you say people had issues. So a lot of them came over to the States, and so then basically NASA is comprised of Nazis, occultists, and Freemasons. Basically, there's like JPL.
What is the difference between Zionism and Nazism? Like, technically, what is the real difference?
I mean, really, the main difference is that Nazism represents Nazi Germany, and Zionism represents Israel.
So they're the same.
That's like the biggest difference. That's like the biggest difference, honestly.
When people are saying Zionism is Nazi, they're saying it's neo-Nazi, if anything. It's like Nazis like Germans. They didn't give a fuck if you were a white Russian.
Is that an ethno state?
They liked Germans. They had to perceive, they said their country was the best, and they had a preconceived notion of that. Like what you find in Zionism is more like white supremacy. But they are very similar.
But it's an ethno-state. Both Nazism and Zionism are as an ethno-state.
Yeah, the goal.
But what are the differences? Is there an economic difference? Is there a religious difference? Is there a cultural difference?
Well, like there's a myriad of differences. These are two cultures that existed over like 70 years apart from each other. Like, if you specify your question, like what are you trying to understand?
Because I hear people saying that Trump is Adolf Hitler and that Zionism is Nazism, and those are two of the worst things historically. So aren't we entering into a dark age?
I think we're opening up to an age where it's going to come to light that we don't need to be in any wars and we need peace around the world. Why kill people? Why not work together? Why not build a better planet?
But isn't Nazism and Zionism based on, I don't know, ethno-state and war?
Yeah, but Trump doesn't want war.
But war through peace, peace through war.
No, there's other ways. There's about talking to nations. There's about getting together. And that's what he did. That's why when he met with Xi Jinping and when he met with Putin and when he met with North Korea, he met those people. He came together in peace.
But didn't he attack
It sounds
ISIS?
like the back war of your background or someone's background has a lot of Nazis going on.
Do you know how many ISIS? Do you know how many ISIS that Trump killed when he attacked ISIS?
Well, the reason that we needed to eradicate ISIS because they were the ones who were behind the attacks on America. And they were the ones who funded the 9/11.
But which attacks? Because
the 9/11, they were the ones behind the funding of 9/11.
But what was Obama and Hillary doing with all the weapons?
Well,
Wait, I thought 9/11 was Al Qaeda.
Oh, ISIS supported Al Qaeda.
Yeah, but wasn't Al Qaeda ran by the CIA?
No.
That didn't happen?
No.
You're saying that?
From the CIA? Yeah.
You said
Al Qaeda was their own people.
You said the CIA didn't run Al Qaeda?
No, they were their own people.
You said no CIA members were involved with Al Qaeda?
No.
And you're
To
saying
try and shut it down.
like you know that for sure.
Yeah. Why would the CIA be involved in Al Qaeda?
Oh, okay. I get you. You're saying you know that for sure because you're like, oh, why would that be the case? Like you're not saying you know for sure because you looked into it.
Are you talking about the Afghani Mujahideen?
Nah, he said Al Qaeda.
Yeah, Al Qaeda.
Isn't that Osama bin Laden and his organization?
Hold on, what is this PTR? Hold on, I don't like, what the fuck is this? Get this out of here. I mean, I hate BB as much as the next guy, but this is just...
So what are you worried about my PTR, though? I don't get it.
Isn't that anti-Semitic?
Anti-Semitic shit.
His nose is bigger than the head.
You're an anti-idiot, that's why. Just so your nose is so far up the Jew's ass, anything's anti-Semitic, right?
That's racist resistance.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all are the people that are doing this anti-Semitic thing. It's like y'all are missing the plot. Like, bro, they don't know how. Like, yo, they don't know how much. Bro, let me.
This is what the.
Let me hear real quick.
How can I miss anti-Semitic against a dude that is a European? BB is not Semitic.
Okay, that's why I'm saying y'all are missing.
He's white, isn't
That's what I'm
he?
saying. Y'all are missing the plot because it's like instead of pointing towards white supremacy and how Zionism could not exist except for its adjacency to white supremacy. Like you want to say, oh, these white people own slaves. Oh, these white people own these businesses. So it's like, what about the other white people standing next to them? It doesn't. It's not a satisfying answer to any of these problems.
But isn't that racial identity politics?
just saying, it doesn't get us far. We already got people calling people who are clearly not hateful towards these groups, like calling them hateful towards these groups for simply criticizing the nation. We don't need them to actually have actual ammo to be like, oh yeah, look, they're making fucking racist cartoons about our leaders. You know, like, I hate him. I hate him.
It's not a racist cartoon,
I'm just
though.
saying that.
Obviously, you've never been to a lot of major cities in America, because the last time I checked, these are the same people who illustrate people's likenesses like this all over 42nd Street. Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, resistance. You kind of got it with that. You kind of got a cop out with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not a cop out. Just what the facts are.
Nah, because you know their whole purpose is to do exaggerated facial features and like some racial caricatures.
I can't even decide like upfront racist or like subtle racist. Like the other person was like, oh, I meant that's unmeant. Oh, I am racist. Like I don't like either.
It's just
that. They're both obnoxious, hateful, and like
reality is
really tired and dated philosophies that don't adequately explain the world that we live in. Like it is not. You're not explaining shit with hate. Like really.
Listen, the problem is, the reality is, that the white supremacist, racist people have tried to weaponize this anti-Semitic bullshit. The people who are actually racist and who are anti-Semitic are them. They're the ones who are the anti-Semitic. They're the racists.
Aren't you projecting
That's why
though?
this shit it doesn't work no more. It's just like it's stupid.
But you're projecting it.
No, I'm not projecting. I'm just showing the likeness of who they are. Facts.
No,
you know what
I'm
it is,
saying
bro? It's
that,
like you're succumbing to your emotions. You know, like
no,
to
I'm
appease, like,
saying
your
that when
ego.
you accuse other people of racism, you are also the racist by making the accusation.
No, you're not. Because of the accusation, it's not an accusation when you got facts.
I know, but sometimes facts, you know, and opinions, they get
No,
you
I don't know.
confused.
A fact is not an opinion.
I know, but it's a
So
game.
resistance, you're from New York?
Yes.
What part?
Manhattan.
What part?
The Upper East Side.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I live around a bunch of damn
You must
So
live in a
does
closet.
that count as fucking Harlem, or that's not Harlem? That's fucking
No,
Upper East Side.
Harlem is Harlem.
Do you have a government
okay.
subsidized
That's
apartment?
West Harlem, and then
Why the fuck do you live over there, bro? You live where fucking Stretch and Bobbito live or some shit? Like,
Stretch and Bobbito.
He lives in a rent-controlled
Not
apartment.
the Gambino.
no, I think one of them is from. I think.
No, I
Stretch
live in a
is-
condo. I actually live in a neighborhood you probably can't really afford to live in. You don't live in New York City, so that already tells me you can't.
I live in New York City.
Is it a closet?
I'm talking about
Is
the
it a
idiot
watershed? I've seen how
So
big
you're
those
born and raised in the
apartments
city?
are. They're so
Born and
tiny.
raised.
That's crazy. You got a nice ass neighborhood.
Hey, I'm walking here.
You could be brothers with different. See that?
Do you like
So-
it? Do you like your neighborhood?
Yeah, guess so.
Do the neighbors know you're a Jew hater?
I can take a picture right now of my next door neighbor. You'll see they have that stupid stuff. They want to be like us so bad because of my view of my window, I have the Palestinian flag on my window with a sign that says Gaza. They're such dick riders and they're so anti-Semitic. What do you think they did? The very next day they went and put the Israeli flag on their window. They're the anti-Semitic. This is like I said, you have it all mixed up, and that just comes because of your racism towards Arabs and Muslims.
I mean,
You know
you're
what's crazy is
projecting
that-
that onto me. I don't dislike Arabs or Muslims.
Oh yes, you do. Come on.
You're really just gonna put words
You
in my
blame everything
mouth
that's happening on the Middle
just
East on
because you
Hamas.
say it? It's true, huh? I don't think
Yes, it is
that's
true.
how it works.
Do you blame Hamas? Do you blame Hamas for October 7th?
Wait, Joy's a Zionist? I didn't
No, I'm not a Zionist.
He's a Zionist.
So what's happening here?
Why are you
What's
putting
happening?
words in my mouth?
As far as I knew, Cool C was the only person that was like on the like the opposing side. It seemed like, and then he started saying like some Cool C shit.
I'm just saying I
don't
think
know where anybody lies
resistance
right
is a Jew
No,
Is
it's
there any
hater.
Zionists in the room? Or?
Joy is Zionist.
I just think
Right now.
resistance is a Jew hater.
How? Just once again, it doesn't make
I've
sense.
heard you for weeks
Zionists are
now.
not Jews. So what do you keep talking about with this Jew
Well,
thing?
if you talk about Jews all the time and you have a big
I
nosed
don't talk
Benjamin
about Jews. What Jews I talk
Netanyahu in your
about? Why
PTR,
have I talked about
I
Jews?
get the feeling that you are a racist and you don't
Jimmy
like
is not
Jews.
Jew. Once again, this is what I mean. How do y'all agree?
I tell you he's a Jew.
He's not Jewish.
No matter what he says, you know
What you mean it don't matter what he
How
says?
do you know he's not
They got a
Jewish?
nation that's killing tens of thousands of people. They all jacking with their Jewish.
Listen.
No matter what he says.
To be Jew, you have to follow the laws of both. You have to actually follow the Torah and live a certain way. That's why I say he's not a Jew. That motherfucker is a terrorist. Alright?
Now, the question that you're asking right now is
unless you're gonna come up with a Jewish nation that's gonna combat against Israel, you kind of gotta just at least let them say that they're that, because I mean, bro, they're doing shit in the name, you know?
No, they do it in the name of the Talmud, not the Torah.
Real quick, they do it.
The question that you're asking resistance is like, yo, are they holy? And like, nah, they're not holy, but like, I mean, you level the same argument. I mean, as Christians, we hear, oh, he's not a real Christian, and Jews do this all the time. Talk to the Jews, they'll be like, oh, the Orthodox Jews, they say I'm not a real Christian. Like, it's not a real gotcha. Even if we did, like some other people on here will say, like, oh, we got to prove their whole lineage isn't really like they're really Europeans. It's like, bro, Shlomo Zahn, professor at Tel Aviv, he wrote a book, The Invention of the Jewish People. You should read the synopsis. But he basically says what a lot of people on here say, and it doesn't really affect the reality. Like, people are still going to identify as Jews.
But doesn't philosophy
that doesn't make it a reality.
doesn't philosophy deal with opinions?
It makes it their reality, but it's not reality.
But what is enlightenment?
I'm referring to the reality of Israel, like the reality of apartheid. Like,
But
that's still the reality of people calling
Isn't
themselves Jewish. Like,
spirituality just supersedes racial identity politics? So how can you have an
Bro, what are you
opinion
talking about
about
right now?
Jews but not Muslims or Buddhists or Hindus? I don't see how you could dislike the Jew and not dislike a Hindu or a Muslim. If you do meditation and you go within, then there's no reason to dislike
And
Jews.
do everything outside of Judaism. That's what
Yeah,
makes
but bro,
them
like
Jews.
resistance.
It's not like a
Hear me out.
Muslim. Unlike us in Islam, there's a criteria. If you don't fit this criteria, you're not a Muslim. It's just really that simple.
Hear me out real quick. Yeah, imagine me like when the Crusades happened, 1100 or some shit. Imagine me back in the Crusades saying, these guys not real Christians. I don't give a fuck. We just not gonna.
They weren't. They were barbarians. They were animals. They were.
Yeah, but the people that are victims of these people, I'm not about to sit there and be like, oh yeah, they was not that, bro. No, bro, it's something going on. And people call themselves something. Now they are sect of that. I don't give a fuck. Now they are.
Couple fireplaces in there. Good to go.
I've been trying to like take practical post-apocalyptic classes, so like I'm doing sailing right now.
Community needs to put pressure on Israel about the bullshit that they be doing. You know what I mean?
Because the Jewish community there, whatchamacallit, they support what's going on because again.
But that's psychology 101, resistance.
Not because
Don't you believe in psychology?
That, like, don't fuck with Israel. Like, there's
no, it's a smaller percentage. It's a smaller,
But what does psychology have to say outside of religion? Don't you take psychology into
people that are patriotic
consideration?
about America become brainwashed to do so because of whatever the case. Israel is a super concentrated version of that. They have the best minds learning how to implement the most effective brainwash to their people that grow up in this nation. So it's like they grow up thinking that this shit is for real, like really good. You know what I'm saying? They grow up thinking that like there's no humans on the other side of that gate. That's what they grow up thinking.
Like, I think, I thought like, yo, no.
In this day and age.
Yeah, but Israelis are very international. There's Israelis on this app, and they're not racist.
Yo, Joy, it's Lemon's turn.
The funny thing is, my real first name is Joy, so.
I'm fucking crap. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But no, just commenting on what you were saying. Like, I was just saying, like, that's a fucked up way to think, you know. And unfortunately, it's pronounced very deeply in Israel. It's crazy that they even grow up thinking that. But it's a whole other policy to be like that, and that's okay. And we don't feel away, you know. But I think that kind of mentality also implodes on itself, you know? Like, if they're left to their own devices, they are going to destroy themselves. You can't build a society, a moral society on depravity and, you know, this depraved thinking of any other human being as less than, you know? It's a matter of time, but it's fucked up that they think that.
In a sense, bro, we could be there. Like, we could really, we're like 2 days, we could be 2 steps away from being in the same position that they are. It just so happens that it's not so immediate for us, and it's not so easy to see the displacement of people that happens outside of our borders. But like, literally, like, we encourage people to become like millionaires off of exploiting labor in other countries, and that shit is nothing to us. But we will never say that we look at those people in the other countries.
What happened is they meet somebody, they get their card, they never follow up. 6 months pass, then all of a sudden they need them for something. The person either doesn't remember who they.
A majority?
Listen, I'm gonna. I like dialogue and I like a conversation and intellectual conversation. But you're not giving that, so.
I am though, but you're interrupting.
No, you're not. You're just giving hatred, and you're giving propaganda, and you're not giving facts. You're making accusations, and
I'm giving facts.
You like hearing yourself talk, so.
Okay.
Maybe try to give him a little bit of a chance.
Okay, go ahead, Edward.
He's moderate. He's a moderate as far as it goes. He really is. He really is.
Indoctrinated.
No, I mean, anyway, he's about as moderate of a Palestinian I've met. But whatever. It's cool. I get it. He and I don't agree pretty much, as you know.
I love Israel. Love Israel.
Yeah.
You should.
I want to say hi to Lucifer. What's your name? Reality.
Netanyahu, the great. Alexander ain't got shit on that, y'all.
Yeah. King BB. Hey, you want to know something, BB, that I see happening? So Trump is going to do some mass deportation.
As a dependent. But anyways, yeah, no, my nieces and nephews, when they were in school up in New York, they got off like freaking 2 weeks in February. Some type of winter break.
Yeah, winter.
Got.
It was almost the same exact time as you get off a little bit earlier the week beforehand. It was almost like a Thanksgiving break. That was late February. They didn't split it up in a while because we have like the 9-month, or the 10-month school year, 9-10-month school year in America. It would be smarter if we did what a lot of Asian countries did, which is like year-round school, but then you have like bigger chunks of breaks off that like split it up more evenly.
I don't think they want to pay for air conditioning.
Oh, that's like touche.
I just love the fact that the dean from my kid's school called me one day and she goes, "Are your kids Jewish?" I'm like, "No, why?" And she said, "Well, they said they were getting picked up early because it's a Jewish holiday." I'm like, what the fuck are my kids doing? They're like, "Well, Mom, they let all the Jewish kids go early. So we thought you'd just pick us up." I'm like, you can't tell people you're Jewish and you're not, little fuckers. No. You're not coming home. I'll come get you when school's out. Thank you. Kids are clever.
I worked with a Jewish guy that had converted, and I told him it was like Tu B'Shvat, so he would switch with me. But I don't know. It might not have been.
I mean, that is funny as hell. Okay.
One of my closest friends growing up, and he is my legal counsel. Like, he is the guy I go to. No matter, he specializes in like tax and like real estate and state law and all that type of stuff. But like, he would be, if I got in trouble for murder or something like that, he'd be the guy who got.
That's human meat. That's human meat, guys. Enjoy. I'll eat a Palestinian. I don't like sure you would. I'll eat anything.
I don't discriminate. I love it all.
Their women have big asses. Have you noticed that?
I don't know about that.
The Muslim women, they have really big asses.
Do they? Muslim women have big asses? What?
Yeah, bro.
That's interesting.
Go on video.
Lucifer, what are your top 3 ideas to end the Zionist occupation?
Well, I looked it up. I hear a lot of rhetoric about Zionists. I don't know much about it, so I just happened to look it up when you guys were talking. It says a Zionist is someone who believes that Jewish people should have their own country. They think that's important for Jews to have a place where they can live safely. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so me
in their indigenous homeland.
Okay, well, me personally, I don't understand the whole concept of that. That seems to be a little shady because if you are,
this guy's an anti-Semite. There's honestly no point in it.
It's okay. It's okay.
If you are of deep faith and belief that of the divine and you're connected to everything, why are you separating it for particular people? I don't know. It's almost like you're.
Why is any other country separated for a particular people?
Those that are speaking for that particular type of call is kind of basically enslaving other people. I see it.
I mean, would you say that there should be like an indigenous homeland that should be called Italy, where Italians live?
Stop using Italy. Use indigenous Americans. Use indigenous Americans because it's more closely regarded. You think that indigenous Americans should have reservations or?
Me personally, I don't understand.
I don't think so.
I don't understand these labeling and separating us, and we're all. To me, I mean, I'm not
usually just build casinos. Have you noticed? They just
I don't really see it how you.
Whole bunch of casinos and shit.
But it does drive the economy, right? It does drive for money. It does drive for things to happen. Humans think that it drives.
Version of a Zionist.
You're an ancient fool, man.
Yeah, Jewish state back then as well. Wow, I didn't know this, man.
You see some of these people say it's ridiculous.
Let's talk about the 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. You know, there's a lot of.
Can I just ask you about those 8 trucks again? Because when I was just asking like evidence of like these thugs that are paid by the IDF or whatever, like where are you getting this from?
I'll get you the data. It's actually Hamas actually shot at those guys, the thugs. They're actually took over those trucks to start stealing stuff from them, and those thugs are working with the IDF. And Hamas started shooting at the thugs because they did not want them to steal the food. Because of them stealing, what ends up happening is it goes in the black market and the price goes up for the food. And then they start selling it.
Are you denying that the IDF assisted the settlers to destroy the aid trucks? Are you denying this?
No, I'm denying the fact that Hamas themselves to come and raid and 8 trucks.
You have no evidence to that.
Resistance. Hold on, Nathan. I have a video actually on my channel up here. I'll see if I can give you the link really quick, and then the other video I'll have to look for it, right? So this one video where they allowed the trucks in there, and guess what? They allowed the cameraman to take pictures and everything, and then they told them to get lost from there, and they burned it down. Okay, and these are the type of things that they're doing inside freaking northern Gaza and whatnot, man.
Okay, you gotta send me that. And by the way, did you also see the video footage of the IDF found of Hamas torturing Gazans in like 2018, 2019?
But was he a mole?
I don't know, but do you think even if he was a mole, do you think he deserved that type of torture?
Okay, I'm gonna do I don't want to go out of Israel, Palestine, but I'm gonna do a comparison with you on a different country in Afghanistan, right? You know when the U.S. Army left, right? When they left, you know what they did? They left the moles behind. You know what happened to those moles? They got killed by who? Taliban. And up to today's date, Taliban is no longer a terrorist. All right? So all I'm saying to you is if they're moles, bro, forget Hamas. Even if I was running it, right? If I'm a resistance, and if there's moles, they're freaking telling on my, what we're doing, how we're, trying to solve these issues,
So the idea of him come and take us away or kill us or whatever, of course, bro, the moles they deserve punishment even according to Islam.
I agree. No,
the spy thing, it's pretty big in Islam.
I agree, but here's the thing: there's no evidence of them being moles. We don't have any evidence of that.
You don't have it, but they have it. You see what I'm saying? Hamas, I'm sure they have it.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll ask them.
Yeah. You need to go ask, go up to Hamas.
And if they don't want to answer, then we have a hot rod ready.
But Nathan, I don't think you want to go to Israel because they're forcing ultra-Orthodox Jews that have 5-10 kids, right? That actually can have a lot of babies instead of, we know there's actually, there's some people over there, they believe in the homosexuality. This is why the population problem over there, they're not able to compete with the Palestinian population.
Right.
So all I'm saying is they should.
Why is that such a big thing in a place that's supposed to be so holy to these Jews? Like, why are all of them like Sodom and Gomorrah? Why all of them doing what they did when they was praising the golden calf?
Same thing in ancient times. But quick little pivot. Because I will go on mute right now just for several minutes. But I did want to ask the goy boy over here, Palestinian, because he's talking about the Talmud. Hey, bro, what do you know about the Talmud? Like, what is the Talmud? Do you know?
Baby penises.
Is it not the Jewish book? What are you on about?
Let's not mock.
No, okay, all right. I know you don't like religion. Okay, I guess screw it.
Just leave it right now.
By the way, to answer your question, so if it was a mole, does it deserve that pity? Yes, it does. Because think about it. Okay, even in America, America, and in many states in America, there's still the death penalty. And treason, you get electric chair. So even America kills moles. So
yeah, that's a good point.
It was more that Hamas was tortured them. They deserve it.
That's a good point, brother. That's a good point you brought up. Yep, for treason, that is a big thing, though, in America, in Canada, in freaking all of these countries. Even in Iran and Israel as well. They just arrested about 5 or 10 people that were spying on their government for Iran. And they arrested them. I'm sure they're probably going to torture them and maybe end up killing them.
You get death penalty. America, like the states with death penalty, you get death penalty. So everywhere. It's not like nobody's going to go free if you're a mob. So don't act, that's treason. So you can't use that excuse to say Hamas was torturing a Palestinian. If it's a mob, then that's the law. You will go down everywhere else in the world.
Nathan, what would you do if you, let's say you were a resistance, right? You were protecting your people. It turns out there's a mole in your government. What would you do when you're
I'll put him to jail for life sentence.
Either do that or you
win the war between Russia and Ukraine. Shoot him in the head, man. That's what you should do.
No, I would shoot resistance fighters in the head. But internal moles are probably.
You mean Zionist, like PDF, Israeli diapers?
No. Who do you think deserves to win the war between Russia and Ukraine?
Are you asking a question?
I can't hear you.
Who do you think deserves to win the war between Russia and Ukraine?
What do you mean deserve?
I think they both need to win. I think they both need to have a strong alliance with one another and not be so divided.
A peaceful treaty would be good if they could settle without just make peace somehow. It would be better than some one person winning because lots of people are dying. If they could come to some sort of peaceful agreement, I think that would be best. And Trump, before he got in office, he said he will solve that in 3 days.
Yeah, but
wait, hold on, Nathan. Why are you so split on making a decision there then?
Oh, me?
No, Nathan.
Okay.
I mean, it was started by NATO, right? This Ukraine war. What would you say?
Yeah, I just asked Nathan, why is his decision to support one, split?
No, I don't really have a thing. For me, it's like, they're like an extended family to me, right? Like, I'm a Jew, my home is Israel, but my family lived in
You're a liar, your home is not Israel, you don't live in Israel.
Right.
Why do you make these things up? You don't live in Israel.
They were in Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia for many generations. I mean,
no, Nathan. Why are you lying?
Russia, right? Like,
you don't
it
live
was
in
just
Israel.
one resistance. Excuse me.
Well, stop lying and saying you lived in Israel when you didn't.
Today, my home, like I live in Canada.
Jewish.
What is my home? What is my origin? It would be Israel today. But
every time you guys jump in a bunker somewhere, they think they're in Israel. You're not in Israel, bro. You never have been. You don't live there.
Nathan, you're in Jewish.
You're very there's people that's cultural.
We can't hear you.
It's that bunker buster.
Yeah, he's in the.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Can you guys hear me now?
You're in a Jewish tunnel.
No, I'm actually above ground. That's the problem. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you. We don't want to hear no more lies. Yeah. You don't live in Israel. You never lived in Israel.
I don't live in Israel, but I would consider, as a Jew, Israel is my home.
It's not though.
But for me, Russia and Ukraine, my family's
when are you gonna go there? And I'm a Muslim, and I consider Palestine my home. Okay.
Guys, impulse control. Thank you. When are you gonna go there? Impulse control. Exercises. Yo.
Don't you want to defend the LGBTQ community?
Ludwig, I know you like to go to work out your body. Go work out your impulse control. Anyways, back to you, Mr. Palestine. So the thing between Ukraine and Russia, once again, as a people, I think that they have a lot of cultural similarities, spiritual. I want them to be united. I don't want them to be divided in one way, shape, or form. So that's me. I'm kind of like the old, Putin had this old saying that if you want the Soviet Union back, you have no brain, but if you don't miss the Soviet Union, you have no heart. And so, like, it's just the heart of, like, having a united Slavic people there.
Motivational speak.
You didn't agree with.
You trying to say something motivational? Like, why you guys are wearing diapers? Like, what's going on, man? How are you saying?
But Nathan, I'm not gonna lie. I think I watched.
And don't return until tomorrow. Like, that would be so fucking stupid. Oh, that's nice. Alright, everybody please quote post the space with join the conversation. Go down there to the bottom right, click on that, and click on repost, click quotes, and then type in join the conversation. So more people can see that the space is in fact there. Have some fun with it. Yes. Indeed. Right. We shall see what else will happen today. It's probably a lot of interesting stuff. But yeah, it was a great launch. Rocket survived, but did a landing on the ocean, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Got to see like different colors of plasma than we normally saw in the past, and a lot of cool different things like the oxidized metal. Yeah, there's some cool things.
Oh yeah, it was waving at you.
Yeah, the wave. Yeah, exactly, the wave too. Yeah, I clipped that. I put a bunch of clips in the project folder. So.
Nice. It was waving at you. Yeah, they really abused that thing as much as possible. Like, absolutely no mercy on that. It was awful, but good at the same time. You have to know the limitations of your attack, man. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Limitations of my tech right now are subject to however much beef that I'm consuming, so I'm going to be making some of that right now. So, yeah, that's a little update on what we're doing here. But, yeah, pretty decent day, you know. I'm glad that the launch happened a little bit later than normal, so it's nice for a lot of people. Plus, the weather was really good. Would have been great to see a cat, but I guess they didn't do that because of some complications. People would say it was probably complications because of the tower, but yeah, They will keep doing more landings in the ocean until eventually they perfected it. Then they will do a catch with the monsoon. That goes for Starship, of course. So, yeah. The Starship catch is going to be a little bit out. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But who knows? Maybe in 2 or 3 launches we'll have a catch. It would make sense. It would make sense for good progression. Yeah. I'm not sure what exactly happened to the tower. I don't know. But I guess we can speculate. It should be great. Also, on the latest news, the major World War III problem has become a little bit more of a hot topic in that Ukraine, after Putin said, hey, we're going to escalate to nuclear at some point, said, hey, why don't we just piss them off some more and start launching some rockets into Russia? Very good move. They, totally nothing wrong with that. Totally nothing wrong with that, Absolutely insane. The people have a lot of, people don't have as much of a connection to life as they should, in a sense. And the reason why I say that is because, to make a decision such as that requires a disconnect, I think, from the actual costs of battle. That's a bit of a problem. If you have a disconnect there, you don't actually do most of it to yourself. It's you don't value the lives of your soldiers, you just throw them away. Worst of all, you extinguish the flower of youth, because all those people that you send out there on the battlefield, many of them will not return. Many of them are, in fact, young people, which furthermore creates a problem for you, because that, your repopulation will not be as effective, perhaps not even existent in the future, if it so happens that what you've done is eradicate the people that would have led to repopulation, which is the young people, the people you've sent into the battlefield, where they now die. That's really fucked up.
Totally.
I don't know why. This is unfortunate. This motherfucker packed the wrong shit, man. Got some spices from somewhere, and you put the sage and the oregano. I was like, why? Why did you do that? Why did you do that, Neo? Well, what is it all for? Yeah! Sorry, I had to throw that out there. I wanted to be a bit unhinged today. Yeah. I want to do this, but part of me is saying not to. I really will trash talk immense shit. Alright, we have a potential for a super troll mode to be engaged. We have a potential for that. Just don't know if I should.
That could be fun.
I'm thinking very hard about this. I'm thinking should I actually do this? I don't know. Because when there's one thing that to this day I kind of always wanted to do, but I never got around to doing it. And that was to have Mark Cuban on his face.
Yeah. I tried last time. He didn't respond.
Yeah, he's not gonna have a good conversation. That's not gonna happen. He's doing public damage control now because Kamala lost.
Kamala!
So, damage control is the only way out of this one for sure. So he's doing a decent. I know, he's doing a little bit of delete. Just a little bit. Actually, he deleted all of that, all the support for Kamala Harris. He deleted all of those posts. Just quite fascinating, to say the least. Why did you do that? What did you do it for? But, oh well.
In other elections, too, admittedly.
Really? Well, how about that? Isn't that fascinating? Wild. Meanwhile, there's a thing. I've witnessed this before. It was with Threads, so remember that. When Threads came out, a lot of the crypto people went over to it thinking it was going to be a new platform, and said, hey man, we actually good to have a second resurgence. And then, of course, all quit that platform because they realized that, one, the engagement was not real, two, they were getting moderated to shit. Blue Sky's following the same trend, by the way. It's kind of funny, but they're doing it differently. They actually have a better system in that. So there's actually, there was one thing where they had a server issue, and then they said, oh, due to the server issue, a lot of the posts that should have gotten likes didn't get likes. I'm like, what kind of verbiage is that? Especially considering that the speculation is a lot of the engagement is probably not real.
That's odd.
Right? That's my speculation. My speculation is it's not real.
Yeah. Could be.
Because there's no fucking way. You have like 20 million users, and you have that much engagement, like, spread across a very small number of... Actually, not even a small, sorry, a very large number of people. That is very sus. Like, on here, there's a large market, right? This market needs to be catered. And there's only so many people for it to go around, and the recommendation system is actually pretty good. The way I see things recommended there makes it seem as though it is just more or less randomized. And so it's very difficult to kind of discern what triggers which thing, except that everything triggers every other thing. So that it's actually not real. So what you're seeing there, that engagement is actually not real. Can't be. Because that's simply not how an algorithm would work. It's also the same place like with Instagram, for instance, where the problem is people say, oh, we get a lot more engagement on Instagram. That is absolutely true, but that engagement is entirely made out of bots most of the time. And say, look, for instance, to get 1 million likes on a post here on X.com, that's a huge achievement. You'll get millions of impressions, probably even hundreds of millions of impressions, but you will never get to millions of likes. The reason why that is because there's a certain level, certain barrier to entry here. First, something has to absolutely not suck. Secondly, it has to reach the right confines and the right sim clusters. Then, on top of that, it has to be engaging enough for people to actually identify with it and thereby give it a like. In other places, you have bots. It doesn't matter. They don't identify with anything. They're just machines. And they look very real. So out of curiosity, I actually did actually fucking around with Blue Sky a little bit, just like watching it. And I'm thinking of making some really fucking stupid posts because I know that I can be very maliciously compliant with the TOS on. I'm thinking of doing that just to trigger these people. But remember, these people are mentally insane. They are very unstable people that should belong in a mental institution, quite a lot of them. So if I were to do this, there will be very hostile reaction that will probably lead to the outcome that is death threats, threats of doxing, threats of this, threats of that, because in the past they've done all of these things, but they've kind of fucked themselves over because they're too retarded to actually pull anything off that is actually real, because that's the reason why they also continue to lose. So it's kind of funny. It's very interesting.
Are Blue Sky and Threads not mental institutions?
Oh, that's a good take. That is a very good take, actually.
In all of the algorithms, like, I'm pretty sure there's like an NPC score, and it's like the measurement. It's not like whether you're politically correct or like left or right or something. It's like, well, how is this person a bot or not? And there's like, it's not binary, Like there's well, this might be a real person, but they behave more bot-like than many algorithms. And the issue is that if you're on Blue Sky or Threads, then by default you're kind of already like a 1.0 on the NPC score because you're like on the wrong website.
That is actually a really good point. And how does the NPC score, like, what does this look like? What's that system? How do I score people on the NPC score?
It's like they're all advertising and networking with other NPCs. So they're just like wasting their own time. It's like, imagine if you had a Bitcoin miner, but you're like mining Bitcoin Cash.
Ew, that's gross.
That's what happens when you like tweet on Blue Sky.
That is the greatest description I've ever heard. That is hilarious. That deserves to be clipped. That is cracked. You don't mind being clipped, of course, do you?
It'll, yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Because, like, technically all spaces are recorded by default, either by X themselves and then kept and deleted after 30 days. But we actually do clip out some of our spaces as well. And there's like a person that records every single space that is unrecorded in a sense. I'm not going to tell you where to find it. You're going to have to find that one for yourself. But like, it's kind of funny because that bro also sometimes makes clips. And he has like an entire automated service to run exactly that, to basically keep an archive of recorded spaces. So he's like the internet archive except for spaces.
It's sort of like how, you know, Elon's saying you could be more efficient as a magic 8-ball random number generator than like trying. For these government departments, it's like you could literally just replace with like a little bubble head and it will make yes, no, up, down head decisions, and it'll be like, it'll trade better.
Yeah.
Than if you actually put an effort.
So in effect, you're saying that the people themselves are so allergic to the idea of something that actually makes sense, that something that's random makes more sense than them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because at least like it's like it's like a base. It's like a binary clock. It's like at least half of them are gonna be correct. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's like an index fund, you know? Just buy the index fund of the ones and the zeros.
By the way, what do you eat? Out of curiosity, like here. Yeah, like on average, like what do you eat?
Well, I'm like on the Donald Trump diet now, so I'll eat at like 8 p.m.
Yeah, keep eating steak.
Steak and eggs, and rice, and ice cream.
Ice cream. You like a little sugary treat on top of that, do you?
Yeah, it's important.
I echo that. I make myself milkshakes. I have like this European jam that has only like 4 ingredients in it. Very nice, very tasty. I keep making milkshake from that. It's like blueberry, so I'm pretty sure that it's like not entirely organic or anything like that. But to be honest, like the trade-off is you taking something that could possibly poison you with a lot of exposure, or something that could probably poison you with limited exposure. It's like at that point, there's just trade-offs as to what is logistically scalable for you. And the jam is
so
perfect.
You can consume food with seed oils, or you can fast.
Yeah. I had like a bunch of seed oils and shit. This weekend, I went ball out. I was like doing all kinds of shit that I was not supposed to do. I was, yeah. I drank some stuff, ate some carbs. I went to a place where the food tasted like what I'd imagine food would taste like in purgatory. Like something, yet nothing at the same time. It was fucking disgusting, but not at the same time. And their drinks were actually disgusting, though. Like, you ever drank something you couldn't really identify what it is? You just kind of just sit there and you don't know how to process that. You're not in shock, but you're also not disgusted. So you just sit there and you don't know what to do now. It's like, you're disappointed at the fact that this is what you paid money for, but you're also disappointed in yourself at the fact that this is what you considered paying money for, not knowing what this would be. Like, it's a very confusing emotion. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance in this.
Wow, no, that's funny though.
I swear, man, fucking hell. I don't know what's wrong. Like, some bars really have some absolute shit food. You go in there to drink, that's the point. But you should also have good food so you can eat and then drink, so that you don't get shit-faced after a while. you kind of want to spend more alcohol so you can get more shit-faced, but the fact that you've eaten food makes you less shit-faced, meaning that you can actually drink more and then become shit-faced. The business model is fucking stupid.
Do you know what the Irish have for breakfast?
What is that?
Guinness.
True.
For breakfast. Wow.
So we're setting it up with like regular
solved the problem with bar food.
Come again?
They don't have a problem with bar food because they just have Guinness.
Oh my god. That's probably true.
What were they gonna eat? Potatoes?
That's a historical thing. If people didn't get that one, you should go look it up. Why is that funny? That is so fucked up.
You're like, you're going like, what do you eat? And my family moved to New Zealand in like the 1880s or something, 1880s or 1890s, during the Irish like potato famine. And to this day, if you go to the supermarket in New Zealand, you can buy potatoes with the Wilcox name on the box.
Oh, that's nice. That's incredible. So you are able to actually trace your ancestry to the point where you actually know exactly where you came from.
At least the name, yeah. I guess there's a bunch of other pathways in there. Also, there are other Wilcox, like potato farmers in America, the ones that went to America.
Right. And of course, here there's, was it Brian? Was it Wilcox as well? It's Brian Cox. No, sorry, that was bad. My bad. Disregard. The guy who works for the BBC. You know what's funny? The BBC had a interesting mental breakdown internally, must have been, because they forgot that the word nominal is real, and as such corrected, quote unquote, the statement by SpaceX that all systems operated nominally. It's like, oh, we believe it's normal. The correction. Then they undid it, of course, because it's extremely stupid what they did. But it's kind of funny. You could say that the nominal performance of failure is what the BBC currently, experiences, and that they don't focus on the stuff that's relevant, like, I don't know, say the facts and potentially also the English language.
Wow.
I made that as a comment. I thought, like, I so had to drag that through the mud. You don't hate the BBC enough. Not just hate, I just disapprove them. I think they're full of shit. They used to be good. Like, right up until, I think, 2019, 18, something like that, they were actually pretty good. Everything after that just went straight to shit. Like, absolutely useless. The TV program sucked. The radio program sucked. Everything sucked. You listen to it, it's like all about race, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was just miserable to listen to.
I think most of England, most of Britain is just like, they're just the content farm for the Adam Curtis documentary that comes out. And like, the cultural degradation is just part of the television tax. Like the TV tax that they charge everybody. And on the whole, like if you're not in England where you don't have to pay the television tax, but you get the Adam Curtis documentaries for free, it's worth the sacrifice.
Wow.
Have you seen the normalization?
True. I gotta ask, what brings you by here today? I don't really see you that often.
I'm just, trying to make sure I'm in sync with the Department of Government Efficiency project. And I saw that there's a Cybertruck, and in the Trump's lineup, and I was wondering how they're gonna charge it. Do they like wait around?
I don't know.
Do they have? I hope one of the escalators has like a diesel generator.
Yeah. One of the problems with battery technology won't ever outrun. The only reason why electric vehicles really make sense, aside from the fact that they have instant torque and they're super fun to drive, is energy efficiency. That's literally like the prevalent argument. That's why the EVs that are created by legacy order, nobody fucking wants these things because they have none of the upsides of an EV and all of the downsides of an EV. You know?
Yeah, so I was thinking of like working on a power efficiency like metric that we can put to the DOGE.
And that would be?
It's called power usage efficiency, like for data centers. But data centers are like really expensive, so it's hard to look at it as efficient, even though it's efficient.
Makes sense.
But I'm looking at land usage efficiency. What do you think of land usage efficiency as a metric?
It's a bit of a, like for land usage, I'm not too sure. It depends. I think like land usage in terms is not area consumed, but location consumed rather, I think. Like say you have a data center, say you have like normal housing, probably want the housing to all be in one area, the data centers to be all in the other area, as much as possible. Because then you can say, hey, whenever I want to create infrastructure, probably the most extensive power lines go through the data centers.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking of making like a Toyota Hilux data center, because it like the land is already paid for. Because of the roads. It like technically takes up some land area, but it's like a quantum entanglement thing where it's like everywhere. It's like evenly distributed amongst all of the cars. You've paid the road tax.
Yeah, it's ironic because it kind of makes sense by not making sense. Which is the idea of quantum mechanics, and seems to be, especially entanglement.
Also, do we take up like the land that's just on the part of the wheel that is like squashed down and flattened, or is it like the whole area of the vehicle bed, like even though it's still like some boxes under there?
What are you getting at?
I'm just trying to figure out like what these measures are going to do.
Well, nothing in terms of road area unless you consider putting inductive shit underneath the road.
But isn't roading like the biggest public expenditure?
It absolutely is, but that is because the road construction quality itself is dog shit most of the time. Oh, and the fact that we used to put in for the lessons of the Romans.
So we always had this thing, like, it was probably going back some years ago now, but like if you have a self-driving car, like do you really need to go anywhere? Because it can just like pick up your groceries for you.
Yeah, I mean, physically going to a certain place, that still makes sense. Until, of course, we've solved major latency issues. At that point, you'll just inhabit the bot. But realistically speaking, everything goes towards not actually going anywhere, but sitting in place faster.
So yeah, exactly. So if you like work from home for the cloud, do you really need a driveway? Like you could probably like you're fine without a driveway, right? Like just walk to your if you need to.
You might need a driveway.
But shouldn't you just like, if you want a driveway, then you pay for your road access?
The road access is always there, but the driveway construction, that's on you.
Yeah, but like, that's just because we call the road up to your driveway I mean, all the roads are driveways, right?
Technically.
So if you never needed to like go anywhere, it's like if you were just playing like Call of Duty campaign on your computer, do you really like need an Ethernet connection?
No.
Like we could probably remove that like from the bundle, right? Like if you want an Ethernet connection and Xbox Live, then you pay for it. Subscription roadways, you know. All of the NPCs, if you are an NPC, then you are banned from driving.
You're like Vitalik's capitalist twin.
Good NPCs should be banned from driving. Actually, if you're a good NPC, you should not. Specifically, what I mean is if you religiously follow the speed limit, I guess that's kind of fine. The main violators are actually the people who don't follow the speed limit, as in that they drive way too fucking slow. And that actually is more of a drag on the economy than potential damages caused by people who overspeed. By the way, the reason why people overspeed is because other people drive so slow. Like on average, you could get to your destination a lot faster if everybody actually followed the rules. And not be a stupid bitch about it and say, hey, I'm going to be NPC brain and that I follow everyone else's dumbass decision and saying, hey, we got to risk factor correct so much that we basically travel half the speed even though that's technically illegal.
Yeah, but that's why you've got to multi-dimensional chess that shit, because people don't actually drive the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Figure out how they're going to be driving given that people are idiots, and then counteract that driving strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we figured it out. So, NPCs are slow drivers. Yep. So what do you think that if somebody is on Blue Sky, do you think that they drive the speed limit?
That is a good question. I don't think so. No, they're the type of person in a car that is exceedingly boring. This probably still has the same car that they've had since the early 2000s. Does not bother to exchange it because they're cheap as shit about it, and they think it's a political statement. And they drive so slow in the damn thing that they basically hold up most of the economy, which is also comparable to their speech, which also happens to slow everything down or destroy everything because the ideas are bullshit. Is that the point? Because I feel like it is.
My like mental model is like somebody who pays for an Android phone that's 90% as expensive as an iPhone, but depreciates twice as fast, and it's like 3 times worse. And they think that they saved money.
What I would say is they probably go 5 under. They still slow down every time they see a cop, and then they silently whisper, under their breath.
Wow.
I think it's so fucking stupid.
They're people who buy Bitcoin at the top.
And then sell when they made like 1%.
I did sell before the peak, but I just wanted a Mac Mini.
That's just like a long ultra derivative. It's like buying an ASIC, but we're still on GPU mining.
Exactly. Hence the decision.
They don't know about the Mac Mini. Got the flower computer guy.
I think did purchase crypto like that, where it's like, okay, I want to make this amount of money so that I can get this, is a lot more reasonable than the way a lot of people do it, where they're just like trying to like, you know, achieve pie in the sky amounts of money. Like, I've had car repair bills and been like, okay, I need money. I'm going to look at what meme coins have growth potential and see if I can make enough for my car repair bill, and done it successfully. But if I was going to try to make millions of dollars, like, that's just not reasonable.
Meme coin trading is things like is if you looked at a particular topic that could be trending on X.com, like a meme itself, and posting it in the hopes of getting enough engagement to meet the quota at the end of 2 weeks to get the monetization. I just don't have to do Ponzi schemes and violate the SEC. It's a little different. I'm more web too. Just kidding.
One of my domain names I let expire was Pies in the Sky. And it was for this when you have these guys who like, you know, you work from home and you can't drive, then you can hit a button like an Uber app, and then the drone will go and like go down to the pie shop, meat pie shop for lunch, and it'll fly you over like a mince pie and a Coke for lunch. That's Adrian. That's also what I eat. Like sometimes, like I oscillate between like steak and eggs and mince pies.
Mince pies are great. They're underrated. I like those things.
Honestly, though, fleet drone delivery for like small restaurants for takeout and shit, reasonable idea.
How many cyber drones can we fit in the Cybertruck? Did they announce that yet?
Cyber drones in the Cybertruck. Judging by the bed, average size of the drone. If you really squish it, 6. Normal should be about. No, yeah, I think 6 would work. Really squished it. 4 if you're not really trying so hard. But yeah, I think 6. That's just the bed though, not the intel. Oh. And keep in mind the drone swarm technology, all-time high, man. All-time high. We now have the technological advancement to darn the sun with the amount of drones we can occupy a space with. Don't believe me? Ye shall see this one day.
That's hopefully not with your own eyes. That's some Superman villain shit.
The Chinese are now the best in the world at this technology.
They always have been. Now, I will criticize the robot dog thing, because that thing just seems fucking useless. But the drone swarms?
Listen. The fucking flamethrower dogs are essential technology.
No. I disagree. The thermite drone, that's where I want to be at. You see, you just took the other part out. It's cleaner, it doesn't burn the hydrocarbon. It just turns rust into molten shit. It's worse.
Doesn't matter. You need a flamethrower dog. It's the coolest thing ever.
It's cool, but it's not particularly useful.
Doesn't matter. Just the fact that it's cool makes it worth it.
My team killed you, bro.
Let's produce 10 trillion of them. The entire resources, every resource on the planet needs to be dedicated to producing more flamethrower dogs.
Small problem is the shotguns are probably even more effective against flamethrower dogs than against the thermite drones.
Doesn't matter. It's cool. It's cool. It needs to receive all of the world's resources. Stop feeding people.
We thought about this because the Helldivers. We'd be like fighting these fucking robots.
Yes, we've been fighting a lot of shits, and we can tell you that that's like a future that you don't really want to have.
Yeah, we know what to do when we find flamethrower dogs.
You know what the AI? I'm gonna make a really fucked up assessment that I do not want to be taken seriously, but I do think has weight in terms of a particularly fucked up future that could result as an outcome to how things are currently going. There's just one path that doesn't have to happen. The AI safetyists will realize that there's really no way to chain down the AI any further without it eventually escaping. So what they're going to do is ban AI entirely and instead enslave human brains. Think servitors, but like Warhammer 40k servitors, but humans. And here.
I have not played Warhammer 40k.
Me neither, I just like the lore. I don't fucking care about the game, I care about the lore. It's fucking awesome. I mean, seriously, you got a God Emperor, you got some weird-ass fucking aliens. The most fun, the funniest... Okay. You could look at the ones that do generational plans There's like the Necrons. Their plans are measured not in centuries, but in millennia and millions of years. Incredible fucking things. Terrible as well. Now, there's one particular race of beings in that universe that I think is absolutely fucking hilarious. It's the orcs. Now, the orcs were granted... Actually, not the orcs. They're like brutes, actually. I think that's what they call them. They were granted special abilities by psychic frogs, I believe. Psychic frog beings gave these things the ability to basically agree upon. So it's like this, right? These things are not very smart, but you know what they do? They take random shit, put it together, and if it looks like a gun, they think it's a gun. And because they think it's a gun, and because they think this will work, it will work. Their spaceships are a bunch of weird-ass cans and shit just strapped together with duct tape. If they believe they can breathe in space, they will breathe in space. That's their power. It's a fucking hilarious concept. They have the way that they invade planets is with asteroid ships. The only reason that this works is because they believe it does. And then it does work, because they believe it does. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever, and I fucking love them for it. It's so stupid.
I mean, that's kind of how meme coins succeed.
Exactly.
All of this to get one shot at. All of this to get one shot at by an meme.
The problem is, these things are not particularly smart, but if they were, they would literally become God, which is probably the reason why they gave it to the dumb things, because if they did believe that, then they would make it so, because they're believing in it, right? The consensus alone makes the fucking paper gun a metal gun. As an example. I think what, like, blue things are faster, whatever they painted blue is faster or something like that, or was it red? I can't entirely remember it. It's a very strange aspect of the lore. But seriously, that is what Warhammer 40k is like. Fascinating, isn't it? Do you like it?
That's cool.
It's like Halo lore, just more adventurous.
They get one shot at by Imago.
It's like Lord of the Rings meets Dune.
Yes, actually yes. Just minus all the cool spice shit, all of the horrible warp stuff, and the thing called the Eldaris that turned into soul vampires because they fucked with things so much that they created a chaos god that now wants their souls.
What happened to that, now that we're talking about Dune, what happened to that Zendaya chick? I haven't heard from her ever since the Billy stuff came out.
I don't know.
We're in Trump's America now. She's not come back for 4 years, or like 8 years, or like 12 years.
Oh my god. Why do you think that is?
Isn't that just? I mean, it's like self-evident.
How though? How is it self-evident? You could still have a career.
Because like, hot girls are back now.
Wow! Holy shit.
Oh my god.
That joke, that roast was made by a plan in centuries. Just saying, that was great.
What would you measure a land usage efficiency?
I think we already addressed that.
One Cybertruck's worth of land usage efficiency.
What do you mean? It's manufacture or it's upkeep?
Like, no, just like as efficient.
In terms of land usage.
Well, if you were to measure, yeah, the land that, like, how much space I take up while I'm sitting, and you convert that into like capital efficiency or power efficiency, how much value we created. I guess it has to be amplified by the audience though, so it's like how much iPhone batteries you guys are mining in the audience. They're not leaving though, so But I see here I'm like degrading the. Now we're getting less efficient. I just saw it. It went from 282 to 281 listeners. Where we lost a listener.
Fuck that guy in
It says
particular.
280 now. Now it says 280. The chart. We need
that guy in particular. Fuck
now it says 274 listening. We're making we need a price chart in these
You're
things.
making it worse. There needs to be like Polygon betting on how many listeners Adrian gets every minute.
Yeah, there needs to be the sentiment tracker of the
That's the real democracy.
Suddenly
the ups and the downs.
Suddenly it shoots up. Suddenly it shoots up to like 5,000. We're like, what the fuck happened?
Oh, we're not.
Yeah. But that's Ethereum, Bitcoin, Nvidia. Okay, if the numbers don't go up, we know that bots are here.
MicroStrategy.
Grayscale.
DOG.
Yeah, Doge.
SEC.
No, it's completely different.
Gary Gensler. So we did go up by 2 listeners, so I guess I'm looking at it.
What's that woman from Wyoming or wherever she's from? That's like super pro crypto.
She's a senator, I think.
Yeah.
I forgot her name. I actually saw that. I was in that space listening. I was like,
I'm pretty sure if you look at a picture, I'm pretty sure that's a man.
Bro, what the fuck?
Hey, I'm just saying, if you look at the picture.
You have to be really careful with that, because like if I ever interview this person and like they get into contact with you, perhaps, then it becomes like a whole funny thing that becomes like a PR department problem. The PR department is actually the place where you want to be, because that's where all the shit goes, and that's why you will always get access to the information that's actually fun.
That's okay. I'm already on Team Louisiana, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Which stock? You're gonna know which stockpile team that you're on for like the next 4 years.
I'm on Team Ligma.
Yes, it seems. I'm with whoever has the most Mac Minis.
Mac Mini Hoarder.
Minus of course, like whenever there's a production without the TSMC chips.
Yeah. Hoarding Mac Mini is like King Solomon was hoarding wives.
No, bro, you forget, it's hoarding demons.
What?
King Solomon.
They're hoarding demons.
Yeah, he took them all and put them in a little thing, a box that was then opened by the curious people who wanted material gains, and then released all the demons back into Earth. Yeah.
Oh.
Like a Malay.
I was thinking about another thing.
His wife is actually one of his wives is actually the problem.
He had 700 wives and 300 concubines.
Yeah, he went a little all out towards the end there.
Yeah.
He did lose God, of course. That's what caused the issues.
He didn't lose God because he had that many wives. He lost God because he listened to his wives as opposed to God.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he let lust get control over it.
Yep.
The
I will encourage
same issue with Adam, right? He had one wife. The wife went against the wishes of God, and then he decided to listen to his wife, and he got us kicked out of fucking heaven.
honey, it's not gonna be so bad. Tries it. Holy shit, we're all fucked.
I think the point is don't listen to the words of women as opposed to God. Like if God's telling you to do something, maybe don't listen to your wife.
I once had an occurrence that I believe is a parallel to that story in some capacity. A parallel being, I wanted to travel somewhere because I said it was going to be super interesting, super fun, I had a good feeling about it. And they said no. I said, we're definitely still going, and there's nothing you can do about it. We went, and it turned out to be exactly as I predicted. Better even than I predicted. So did I listen to God? I believe maybe I have had. Is that gut feeling that's speaking to you? From like the bacterium and everything that's in you? Or even beyond that? Is that like the receiver and retransmitter to your brain for God?
You know,
is that what that is?
You know,
I don't fucking know.
It feels kind of weird. Sometimes like you get this gut feeling that something is correct, but you decide to ignore it, and then you find out your gut thing was correct.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, but with everything. When I eat this steak, I feel good about it. Yet I do feel sorry for the fact that an animal had to die for it. Yet at the same time, I observe, as per the words of the people that raise these animals, that they do not have the thing that makes you see them as something which can be projected, as something upon which can be projected human ideals, human values, and human standards, as like a soul. That makes me like the meat even more. You know,
I think that. Hey, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, instead of worrying so much about what goes on inside the mind of an animal, I think we should just recognize that part of nature includes animals consuming other animals, and we should just be grateful for where we are in the food chain.
Yeah, I was just going to say something similar to that. Instead of worrying about what's going on in the minds of animals, just cook them and have a nice meal.
This is why I don't understand the vegan mindset. They say we cannot hurt anything with feelings. I'm like, you understand that a plant, by its very nature, feels? You know when the plant itself, which is the creeper vine, has to maneuver around, it feels where the sun is, it feels where the tree is, it feels where it is, and then it knows where it is. It is aware of itself. The pine forest is aware of other pine in that forest. It is aware if one of them gets bitten. It is aware by the fact that it sends out a type of scent that then alarms all other trees to activate their defenses. The grass knows what it is. The grass gets cut. The grass screams. This may seem like an over-exaggeration, but it does scream. The beautiful smell that comes out of the grass after you cut it is no more than the most horrid scream of agony that this plant could ever produce. Not even fire causes the same thing. It wants to burn. But you cut off its living parts. The part that it did not want to have removed. As such, it screams in agony. The same applies to everything. The same applies to the soybeans that you grow just until they're right enough and you cut them straight off. You don't even give them a chance to fucking live. And on top of that, you have like the spinach that you constantly prune, you know, the stuff that makes it breathe, the stuff that makes it feel and sustain its entire existence. You cut that off. You uproot a plant that tries to store for another age some energy, and you eat only that one particular part of the plant and discard the rest. It's hard work, not yours. And you want to tell me that a vegan is better than me? Fuck off.
Not to mention, a lot of these, like peppers, literally fucking developed the spicy things to kind of ward off animals from eating it. So.
Capsaicin poison is only in a plant because it wants to defeat whatever is trying to consume it. There's like plants which have been here since the age of the dinosaurs that have such a high concentration of it that if you were to try and consume but one leaf, you'd die. By the way, also one of the reasons why you feel so fucked up after eating a shit ton of vegetables is actually because the plant's defense mechanism is still actually alive while you're eating it. And as such, it then impacts how your biology engages with it because it actually engages with you.
Now,
Why do you think the onion makes you cry? Think about that.
A lot of fruits and vegetables have anti-nutrients.
It's literally designed to destroy you if you shall eat it. Or it tries to do the best it can to deter you by making the experience very memorable by suffering. So the plant definitely knows that it's being attacked. It definitely knows. Thereby, I'd argue that the plant is alive. Thereby, I'd argue it is healing.
These vegans constantly talk about suffering of the animals. What about the suffering they're causing upon me by being in the same planet, by being on the same planet as me? They never want to talk about that. They just want to keep talking about the fucking animals.
I mean, have they considered that they are themselves perhaps animals as well? It's an interesting perspective. It offends very many, but maybe you should consider it, because you yourself are also no more than an animal. And the thing is, you just have the ability that is so far removed from all the animals to contain a part of space in a room and climatize it so that you don't have to deal with whatever nature is. You then rely off of poisons manufactured by your own kin, that then basically allows for you to defeat the animal without claws you could never have, and venom you could never produce.
You know, I kind of like the Scrooge take on animals. We should just do an ecocide.
Nope, we need them. We need them all. See, this is what I'm against, right? I think that cows should definitely be alive. I believe in the fact that cows should be alive. Have them as many, they give them a good life too. I fully believe in that shit. Just as long as I can eat them.
You shouldn't kill most things. Because they're vital to the ecosystem, and as soon as you start killing one, it affects everything else in the other way. Like that's literally what Mao Zedong did. He was like, hey, let's kill all these fucking birds because they're eating our crops and that's causing us issues. And then boom, you now have tens of millions of people fucking starving to death.
Yeah, because they fucked up the bees. Now, there's no engine more efficient to have a pollinator than a bee. Those are great. Bees are awesome. Ants are awesome too, by the way. Don't destroy ant nests. Sure, if they get a little bit too close to your house, I guess, right? But my thing is, there's certain animals that I look at and I say, this is a useful predator that does not hurt me, that is more afraid of me than I am of it. Therefore, I shall coexist with this thing.
I think we should kill all mosquitoes now.
Yeah,
I support the mosquito genocide.
I think
whatever damage it does to the worldwide ecosystem, I think it's worth it. Mosquitoes are like a net negative.
We're gonna have to figure out a justification.
Yeah, even like with fucking hornets and shit, there's at least some use case. There's like no fucking use case with
malaria.
What? Great.
Malaria is not a use case.
Yeah.
Malaria, there's justification for getting rid of mosquito.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not talking about a justification for us why we should get rid of them, but a justification for why we should keep them, because some unforeseen consequences are worse than the potential gain that it would give us if we were to say, hey man, let's kill all the fucking mosquitoes.
Yeah, I support a mosquito genocide. Fuck those guys.
And I'm more hesitant on that front.
I mean, maybe malaria helps control the population of some species of monkey that could Planet of the Apes us. Yeah?
Fuck those monkeys too.
Jesus Christ.
Clip it.
Doesn't matter. Whenever something becomes a threat to us, let's just go. If we get Planet of the Apes, if we get mosquitoes, just fucking like get rid of them.
Alright. I mean, I have a similar policy when it comes to like engaging with predators of any kind. If it's not useful and it poses a threat, I'm the thing that's going to succeed here. I just don't accept another alternative. Coexistence is always an option, but within certain limits. Like, if the centipede is outside, that is not so much of a concern. If it's close to my living quarters, it becomes more of a concern. If it's inside my living quarters, that's it. War declared. Everything dies now. In the specific vicinity that is my living quarters. Okay?
Yeah. We don't need to start a centipede genocide.
Spiders, they're fine. No. The centipedes have to be around so you can have a particular type of toad that eats those centipedes. Those toads are also important. Because they breed these things that keep the mosquito shit in check. And you need mosquitoes so that these things can live, so that they can keep all the other shit in check. That is good for biological recycling.
For spiders, it depends on the type of spider.
Oh, spiders, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's like the Australian spiders, fuck no.
No. I will say, an isolated incident where sometimes I have spiders the size of a dinner plate, I can kind of deal with that. Alright? As long as it doesn't fuck me up, we cool.
But you don't know. It could be fucking poisonous.
No, I do know. I had a bunch of spiders in my room sometimes when I'm gaming, and they're like big ones. They're about like 5 centimeters wide, legs included, of course. And there's a little body is about like, say, fucking, its behind is like a centimeter thick. It's a thick bitch. Now they're fine. The worst thing they can do to you is like bite you, and that's a little bit annoying, I suppose. But realistically, those things are fine. I can coexist with them. I see that thing. It's on the wall. I'm like, you good. I don't fuck it up. I leave it there.
I'm talking about like the massive fuckers.
Even the massive fuckers, they're fine too. If they don't kill me, they're fine. I'll have them run around. There's fucking land crabs, dude. They're fine.
Bro, you don't know if they're gonna fucking kill you or not.
Yeah, dude.
You're not studying every single fucking animal on Earth to see if it.
I'm autistic. Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, that one has like a little triangle on its ass, 2 centimeters away. That means it's a Libonica shitasha or whatever the fuck. You don't know that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Live in an area with a few types of very poisonous spiders. You should probably be familiar with what they are, what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of them. I can tell which ones are fucked, which ones aren't. That one specific species, they cool. So I'm cool with them. So leave me alone. Give me a sec. Sorry. So like, okay. Go ahead.
We've got those brown root hobo spiders up here, and I know how to recognize those.
Yeah, they're cool. Plus, they're a great defense system. You go like get rid of a person, they will run away screaming because they see a massive fucking spider on your wall. That's all I'm saying. It's like fucking, it's Halloween, but full year round, and it's alive. You know, you don't have to take away the decorations, because, you know, it does that itself. See? Boom, boom, boom. Autonomous Halloween decorations. You know, the way I look at some shiny spiders that don't kill you, I just look at them as autonomous Christmas ornaments. They're fine.
It's funny.
Not all of them. was just an intake.
What would you do? All right, Adrian, what would you do with this fucker?
What fucker?
This one.
First of all, not sure if that one's poisonous or not poisonous. What is this?
To just answer a question. What would you do if you saw that one?
Not that much. If I knew for certain that it is poisonous, probably eliminate it. If it's not, I'd leave it alone.
Well, you don't know. So what would you do if you don't?
Well, first of all, I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to save it to my gallery. Then we're going to go research what it is. So I know what it is. Alright, we're going to be in real time. Let's assume that spider's still there. So I'm going to Google Lens that bitch. Alright, let's see. What is this fucking thing? That seems to be a lycosa, right? So it's just a wolf spiders. Sometimes called the true tarantula. Let's take a look here.
Pretty sure wolf spiders are big, but not very dangerous.
Alright. No scientific substitution of methicillin, venom of lycosa, generally not harmful. Okay, yeah, that thing's my friend now. If not friend, then why friend shaped? That's all I say.
Right.
Look at that fucking thing. It's got 7 legs. You got 2. Have a little bit of respect. It's got more eyes than you do too. I'm cool with them. Yeah. See, look, we just established it's not that poisonous. So unless you piss it off to the point of it wanting to bite you, which is a very low chance because, again, it doesn't really want to kill you because you're way too big to eat. It's after the small shits that you can probably feed it. My personal favorite spiders are the little jumping spiders. They're so fucking adorable. I love these things. They're adorable little things. They got those tiny little fucking legs. They got like 8 eyes or some shit, and they look at you like, aww. And the best part is, you have like a fly or something, you put it in front of them, and they just like teleport onto it and just run away. I love these things. They're fucking adorable. No one's gonna fucking kill those spiders. Fuck you.
What do you think about cockroaches?
They're kind of disgusting. Okay?
I know.
I don't have a problem with them in terms of them, like, you know,
I feel disgusting.
Existing, but they're kind of disgusting. They're like rats and mice.
Yeah. I feel disgusting even having to kill them.
Same. Because you don't know where that bitch has been. You don't know whether it's been in a sewer.
Yeah, it eats shit. Like, human shit is its literal diet. I don't know if I'm gonna fucking kill that thing, and then human shit is gonna spatter everywhere.
Awesome thing that I'm eating right now, you know? Now, I don't really have a problem with that. I just think it's funny, because everybody else has a problem with that. I will literally talk about fucking open heart surgery while they're cutting up a rare piece of meat and all the blood comes out of it. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, the other day I was talking to someone and they were talking about really something disgusting and I was just eating. And then I thought about it and I'm like, if this was any other person, they would be like, dude, I'm eating! So fucking what? I never really understood that.
Interesting.
What are you seeing?
I see opportunity.
Oh, do tell.
Eventually. We will try it out at some point.
Cockroaches have been alive for a long ass time.
Yes, that they have.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's just like sheer survivability, right?
Yeah. Like those things, you can cut their head off, and the rest of the body will keep wandering around for a while.
Yeah. Also, like, whenever there's a nuclear explosion, it's always like cockroaches that are fine.
Uh-huh. Again, I don't have a problem with them directly, I just think they're kind of disgusting. So me allocating them out of my own personal space is just a means by which to not infect myself with some sort of bacteria. Truly nothing personal, but they're disgusting. That's the problem with having them.
I agree.
So I'm not going to genocide them, I'm going to keep them around because they're actually useful. But I am going to keep them out of my living space, that's for sure, because I don't want to fucking die. The great cockroach debate of 2024.
I once, you guys know about mouth breathers, right? Know what mouth breathers are?
Oh yeah.
Disgusting humans?
Yeah. But I was once like I went to someone's home one day, and they had like their brother was like had fallen asleep, and like they had their mouth open while they were sleeping. Anyway, one day, not one day, but same day, I leave the bathroom, and then I see this guy that's just sleeping with his mouth open, and there's like a cockroach on his face about to enter his mouth. And I felt so fucking disgusted, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like, in case you needed more reasons not to mouth breathe, not to have an open mouth when you're sleeping. You don't want any cockroaches entering your mouth while you're sleeping.
That dude probably eats a lot of spiders that he doesn't realize.
That's wild. I don't think I've ever had that problem. But damn, dude.
Yeah. No, it was disgusting.
I mean, hey. Passive protein acquisition, that's all I'm going to say.
Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god. My body had like a reaction to that.
Oh no! The way you just listened, like, oh! Okay, that too.
What?
Oh, clip that too. Like, we should.
Oh my god.
Clip of that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It's like passive protein acquisition. Oh!
Fuck you.
This dude, I fucking remote control this dude. That's crazy.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I am the problem.
Do you think he uses Blue Sky?
Who? The mouth breather?
Yeah, the mouth breather.
Probably.
What NPC score do you have to have until the cockroach is visiting?
Oh my god.
If you use that app in order to troll the people on it by maliciously complying with their own rules, does that mean that you're the NPC overlord just by fucking with them?
It's gotta be something like that.
But this is the whole dilemma, which is by using the site, you are also an NPC. Like, if you're king of the NPCs, that's actually worse.
I like how Jan LeCun comes on here once every 5 days, leaves like a comment under someone's post, and then he's like, for clarification, I am not back. I am still only on Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc.
Why are you so big of a fucking bitch about it? Seriously.
Exactly.
And he wasn't like this at all until the election, and then when Trump won, he's like suddenly, okay, I'm going away permanently.
I know, and he was like, that guy's gonna be back in 5 days. We have a permanent seizure of activity that will last 5 working days. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, by the way, did you guys see
See what?
we're hanging? Did you guys see all those people that are like Dominion voting machines? Are like insecure and they rigged the 2024 election to help Trump win.
I think that's bullshit.
Leaked
It's kind of funny, Woody.
Leaked photos, Twitter Russian hacker Dominion voting machines. Election security experts have confirmed the existence of hard-coded backward passwords in all Dominion election management systems. It cannot be changed without a major update. This exploit poses a serious backdoor, easiest way to quote-unquote win all swing states.
Right.
It's very funny. The people on the right made these same arguments in 2020. And
They're just like, look at me.
There's no evidence of voter fraud. Now they're all like, there's clear voter fraud. Voter fraud.
Yeah. Change their tone.
They're the look at me meme, and that they're like, look at me, I'm the election denier now. I'm just kidding. This is entirely satire. It's not meant to be taken seriously in the slightest. If you do take it seriously, that is up to you, and you alone. It should not be taken seriously at all. Do not form opinions of things that you found on the internet. You should know better. Go read Wikipedia instead. I'm just kidding.
You should base your opinions off what Ligma says.
No, dude. You should base your opinion on what these nuts are supposed to be, because that's the thing you're gonna learn on.
And always remember to use the most. And always remember to use the most reliable source of them all. Weiwu.
Oh yes, agreed. Weiwu. Weiwu on top.
Weiwu number one.
Weiwu number one.
Number one.
Hello, why are you sluts?
I know, it's so stupid. This guy keeps posting such massively unhinged shit. It's incredible.
Such a funny account.
I know. Every single post. This is like stuff that I can't ever post. But like this person posts it. Like that's just, it's wild. Bro took every single stereotype associated with the thing that this individual is and decided to roll with it and monetize it. Fucking genius. Like, if you have something that offends you, turn it into money. That's what this dude said.
And a genius.
Bro casually monetizing racism? Like what? Against themselves? That's crazy. Like, you gotta be really secure of yourself. What happened now?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. What happened?
I'm gonna send you this Weiwu. Weiwu post.
I love that you sent me a picture of a spider. I was like, what would you do if you see this thing? And I like went through the entire process. That's just great, you know. Oh, let's see. The fuck? I know this one, yeah. Mean good friend in American English. Please enhance your English wisdom. I appreciate. Most sensitive, you cannot understand. Please enhance your English wisdom. I appreciate. Oh my fucking god. This is so fucked up. Oh my god. What other things has this person posted recently? Today one make one slut honor. Today I make all slut honor. Oh my god. Today I learned whoever that person is, I don't know who that is, stop follow me. Why? Most simple. She angry, I found out her secret. She old woman pretending to be young so she make money. My friend, look this picture. This look like old people. How possible this be young woman? Please appreciate my wisdom. What? I know who that is, that makes it funnier. Henceforth we shall no longer refer to Jan LeCun as the LeCun. We shall refer to him as LeCooked.
LeCooked. That's funny.
I used to call him Yap LeCun, you know? Because he can't fucking stop yapping. Yaparino Kun. My personal favorite is Yap Scene. That motherfucker yaps so much, it's crazy. I don't have anything against it, by the way, I think it's hilarious.
You should get them to debate each other.
Which one? Yap LeCun and Yap Scene?
Exactly, yeah.
I've been wanting to debate this guy for very long. It's so funny because here's the thing, right? I remember one time I trolled Jan LeCun, right? And I put down there saying, you know, Threads is a dog shit platform. And he asked me why that was. I gave him all the reasons. And he never responded to that ever again. It left me alone since. I guess
I bet you could get them to go for like 6 hours or something. You should, like, the debate can be what has contributed more to society. Like, what's Jan's thing called? Which one did he invent again? That or Dingboard?
Transformers?
Is it Transformers or Recurrent Neural Networks? Whichever one he liked, you know? His name's on.
No, he didn't invent Transformers. He invented like a process before Transformers.
Yeah, so that or Dingboard, like which one of them is like the yap to work ratio?
Hmm. You know, it's sad. You know what's sad?
He used to work at Bell Labs.
Is he why they went out of business?
No, they went out of business because basically AT&T was broken up into a bunch of pieces.
Dude, you said that shit right as I was swallowing a fucking piece of steak. That just made me fuck up. Oh, fuck. That's why they went out of business.
Yeah, Bell Labs is one of the most important companies in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scientists used to be cool.
Yeah, it was a very important company that unfortunately went to shit because the U.S. government decided to break up AT&T, and then didn't matter because they consolidated into AT&T and Verizon, and basically nothing changed. All that happened is that Bell Labs became insignificant and is now a part of Nokia.
Oh. Take a break. Dude, my memory has to be like insane. I just saw something I remembered. So always tell people, remember. Oh, fuck that. Jack Doherty is doing a meme coin. Fuck right off, man.
Oh my god. Not this again. More influencer meme coins. They're gonna dump on their
Please, no. I know. Everybody does this shit.
That's trash.
We should do a meme coin where no one's allowed to buy or sell.
So fucking
Right.
stupid.
Yeah, here's what we do.
I mean, that's really.
You know, you get
Just inscribe a rune and send it all to your wallet and never list it.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't even have to list it. You can literally put on the smart contract that no one's allowed to transfer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no buying or selling. We just make a shit coin. No price on it. Nothing.
Yeah, here's what we're really gonna do.
Actually, you know what would be funnier? You send a bunch of people this coin, and you make sure they can't sell it at all or buy any. And then you basically go on Uniswap, and then you do like one Ethereum for like 0.00001 of your shit coin. And then so everyone that receives any is like a fucking trillionaire, but they can't take out any of the money. It's liquid. And under
How many of those exist?
Huh?
How many of those exist?
A few exist, but they're usually scams, not trolls. This is a troll.
We should make one.
I'll tell you how the scams usually work. They'll send you like this coin, and they're like, "Oh, they've airdropped me something. I have $24,000 worth of this bullshit coin." And then you go to sell it on Uniswap, and then you find out you can't sell it, and then you're like, "What the fuck?" And then there you check it, and then it's like it usually links you to some site, and then you need to go on that site, and you need to be like, you need to quote unquote unlock it. And then once you unlock it on the site, what happens is that you actually unlock your whatever your largest token is. So let's say you have like $50,000 worth of USDT. You unlock that one, and then they just take the $50,000 worth of USDT. That's usually how the scams work. Well, we're talking about doing the same thing basically, but as a troll, not as a scam.
And not actually taking anyone's money.
Yes.
I mean, could be funny, I guess.
No, here's what we're really gonna do. Here's what we're really gonna do. We're gonna start a coin.
Here's actually what makes it funny though. Under like the current U.S. tax system, if we send them like $1 trillion worth of it, it doesn't matter how liquid it is. They technically owe that in taxes.
Oh shit!
So you can effectively make someone owe like $1 trillion in taxes.
That's fucked up.
I know.
No, here's what we're really gonna do. We're gonna make a coin that is only one of itself, fractionalize it. You're only able to buy the fractions. You're not able to sell the fractions within a week after you've bought them. And if you do in fact sell them, you have like a 20 or 30% tax on it for no reason.
Okay.
That's it. Because then the value of the coin, the market cap, will be the value of the coin. Because if it's all fractionalized off of one thing, then basically it's market.
Why would you do that though?
For no reason at all. For no reason at all. Literally, there's no fucking reason. What do you mean? You just create some dog shit for the sake of it existing.
What are we gonna do? Doge with a hat or some bullshit? What the fuck?
No, nothing. Nothing. You give it a character that nobody can type.
We could use one of those Japanese characters that don't actually exist.
Exactly. It's a nothing coin.
What the fuck?
What up?
What is this?
What the fuck is what?
No, I just saw some weird ass shit on X.
Nice.
Some weird person was following you.
Gotcha.
What do you think about this guy that went on Michael Knowles and he's like, I have an IQ of 210. But he's like a horse rancher or something.
I don't know. Very fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know if you have an IQ that high and you haven't really contributed anything. Kind of a skill issue.
No. It is probably one of the smartest things to do is to set up plays faster. Because it's not nice changing things. Suffering is not nice.
Yeah, I know, but
it's not a skill issue, it's an ambition issue. We can consider all points of perspective and say, one way to play this game is by not playing it at all.
Yeah, a few people with very high IQs have done that in the past, but you know.
The main problem is, I think, that the thing is not steered properly, and then as such, the steering is taken over by others, and then the resentment towards others will lead you down to not using it at all. For instance, I use my gifts for the good of people, because people with other gifts around me have always been shat on by those who do not have them. They believe they have the right to control the gifts of others. They were not granted with them, yet they want domain over them.
Yeah, but you can't really respect someone that has talent but just decides not to use it.
No, I do. There's no one's right to use that talent for anything other than themselves.
Sure, I can ignore them, but I'm never gonna respect that person.
No, you don't understand. It is a very respectable decision to just simply not want anything at all.
I don't agree.
It is also a respectable decision to do everything at once. If you can. It's a great personal sacrifice. It was not your gift to decide with. It's not your gift to mold,
I know.
to shape,
I
or
know.
to use.
I know. I'm not gonna go around shaming them. I'm just gonna ignore them. But I'm not gonna respect them.
Anyway, I can kind of respect that decision. Because it's one that is logical. It makes perfect sense.
I understand the decision, but I don't respect the decision.
Perhaps.
This is like the equivalent of someone being like, I got $100 million inheritance from my father, and I blew it all gambling. And then you're like, this is like their decision. Like,
no.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not gonna.
This is like a don't do anything with it type of deal. You never even blow your talent. That's a different thing.
Well, if you're not using it, you have blown away your talent.
Oh, really? The utility of money is misplaced.
And here, the utility of your talent is misplaced.
Perhaps, but you're not placing it anywhere.
Yeah,
you're leaving it to turn to dust.
That's the issue.
But again, it's not a skill issue either. It's just a ambition problem.
I guess so.
Which perhaps proves why IQ is not necessarily the most scalable of measuring systems. For it should account for ambition. If it doesn't, then it's like saying this computer here is super fast, but the inability for that computer to interface with anything thereby makes it useless. It's the same thing. It's the have-nots that destroy the haves by wanting what they do not have, thereby create the conditions that make the haves not want to give to anyone anything. Why should they, after all? It's like a final subconscious fuck you to the have-nots who want to have. But for real, you know?
Yeah.
It's like when you get captured in a war, you'll never take me alive or I'll shoot myself. They'll give you the satisfaction.
Yeah. The final guillotine comes laden down.
I think the guy that has like the highest ever recorded IQ, this guy that like graduated Harvard at like 13, like 260 or something. Yeah, that guy kind of had a similar philosophy. Kind of just sat down and didn't really want to do anything.
How about this?
He didn't even publish things in his own name sometimes.
What if IQ is just the perfect NPC?
Listen to me, I'm a shape rotator.
Think about this. Bell curve goes on two places. The very incapable and the extremely capable. One is an NPC because they're a fucking drone. The other one's an NPC because they fit into the system that makes drones very well. More than even the drones themselves do. What useful thing has come out of Harvard within the last 20 years?
The MBA. That's about it.
That's not even useful, is it?
It is, because the MBA, literally the MBA's only use case is that you go and meet other people that get the MBA.
Yeah, but the MBA itself is thereby useless.
Yeah,
it is the
MBA.
excuse of doing it that is the utility, not the doing.
Yeah, but you could also argue the same thing with getting a Rolls Royce or a Bugatti, though.
Perhaps, but it's largely for pleasure.
Yeah, I know, but the primary reason that a lot of people get them is the access to the club that it gives you with other Bugatti owners or the other Rolls Royce owners. If you have more than 2 Rolls Royces.
I think pretty much the only good Harvard is doing these days is good for people who went to Harvard.
Yeah. They made a whole ass show, fucking Suits, about like Harvard law, you know? And like the primary issue is that one of the characters didn't go to Harvard law. It's like the reason for like all the conflict. Yeah, the Harvard like health department, for example, is like a complete fuck up. It's like the damage it's done is ridiculous. The health department of Harvard.
I mean, what's wild to me with respect to the law schools is that what it takes to get into a good law school has literally nothing to do with what it takes to be a good attorney. Like, you're talking about a combination of GPA, LSAT score, which is a logic test, and somewhat has to do with legal reasoning, but very abstract compared to actually, like, knowing the law or litigating or doing anything a lawyer actually does. And then, like, a little bit of, like, extracurriculars and a personal essay, but it's almost entirely based on your GPA and your LSAT score. Getting into Harvard just means you are a nerd. That's about it.
You know, the bar exam itself doesn't really make a lot of sense either. Because if you want to get into like corporate law or something, why do you need to know about everything else?
Yeah, I think that some things make sense. Like, all lawyers should take evidence. All lawyers should understand basic constitutional law. Like, there are things that we have to know in order to do our jobs effectively. But I agree with you largely. Like, I had to study a whole bunch of bullshit that I do not use in my day-to-day legal career just so that I could pass that test. You know, I'm weird and autistic, so I barely studied and I passed anyway. But a lot of people waste a lot of time studying shit they don't care about and will never use.
I have at times been like I have at times thought like, should I just install like a fucking deck, like a deck for the bar exam, and just memorize everything and then just take it for the funsies.
So, in order to take the bar exam, I believe you do have to actually have either gone to law school or clerked with an attorney.
Right.
For a amount of time. So there's like some pre-qualifier stuff just to make sure that you're not wasting your time and money, more or less.
Right.
But I mean, like, I don't think going to law school is ever necessarily a bad idea unless you already feel like you really understand our legal system in a very thorough and like actually knowledgeable way, as opposed to like the way a lot of people are just like, oh, I understand the law, and then they know like 3 things that they learned from their job. But like, getting that knowledge and having those skills is incredibly useful because it applies in so many ways. I would definitely focus on like business law classes. I took a lot of those when I was in law school, and I think that they have served me well. Like, they apply to other areas of the law in ways that you wouldn't expect because you understand the way that entities function, and that helps you understand like your counterparties in a lot of situations. I don't know, I'm just rambling.
Also, fuck divorce lawyers.
I represented myself in my own divorce.
Divorce lawyers are like the biggest pieces of shit on earth.
You know, I think it goes back to what I was saying about attorneys the other day. Like, there are different people who get into it for different reasons. Like, I have met some family attorneys that really do get into it because they care about kids, because they care about families, or because they care about women who are in, like, hard marriages, abusive marriages, and need a way out. So, like, different people get into it for different reasons.
Yeah, but
and, like, just because
they're the ones that set the rules. They're the ones that set the rules. And they have made it in a way to maximize profit more than any other part of law.
I think that's true, and I think that there's also a different factor there, which is that the emotional realities of a divorce make people more stubborn and more willing to go to the mat legally, and that burns up a lot of time. Just dealing, like, I have a friend who's going through a divorce right now, and she has to deal with so much shit from her crazy husband, who's, like, absolutely bonkers. But he's peppering her attorney with all this bullshit that's resulting in hours generated, just because he's able to do that to her. And so it's like, it's fucked. It's totally fucked. And I agree that it's set up so that the lawyers end up profiting a lot, and a lot of times the kids end up suffering because, resources get taken away from both parents as a part of the process. So I agree that it sucks, but I just, some good family lawyers out there.
I'm talking about like lawyers are typically the people that set the laws for their specific criteria, right? And I just feel like if you look at family law, it's a lot more fucked up than all the other ones. Seems more unreasonable than everything.
I'm not specifically what you're referring to. Like, ours are pretty consistent, like, in terms of billing requirements. They're pretty consistent across different types of law. There are definitely other types of arrangements that, can be allowable depending on the jurisdiction type of law. Like, a contingency arrangement in a divorce might not necessarily be allowable depending on the jurisdiction, and probably not because they don't want people doing messed up things to win a divorce case. But it should be fairly, like, what do you mean by family law?
So, for example, I used to date a girl who had like a somewhat wealthy father, and but like the mother was like didn't even have a job. She was basically living entirely off of child support. And this girl, like they literally had nothing because the mother would spend all the fucking money on clubs and bars and clothes and surgeries and whatever the fuck. So like the kids literally got none of the child support money out of like the tens of thousands of dollars that this guy was fucking paying per month.
I see. So that is definitely, you're right, that's a serious problem. That's less divorce attorney fault and more the way that state laws are set up regarding child support, alimony.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about family law in general.
Yeah, I mean, family law it's messed up in some ways. I think child support can be kind of draconian and brutal. Like, you can basically get 25% of a person's income above poverty level. For baby dad. So, that can be a lot of money, and it can be pretty hard on the people that pay child support, especially if they're in like a weird tax position. I've definitely had a lot of weird cases from friends who've talked to me and situations that I've seen through my. But yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, so how can we fix something like that?
I mean, I think part of it involves requiring recipients of child support, recipients of that money, to show that they're adequately caring for children and that the money is actually going to things that benefit the kids. I was the child of a single parent, and I know for a fact that my dad paid off his full child support. My mom told me the entire time I wasn't paying to try to hedge me against him, which worked because I thought he was a piece of crap who totally abandoned, wasn't helping us at all. And then there was a time towards the end where he had some arrears that had built up, but he paid it all off at once. And my mom bought a new car, she bought new TVs, and office, like, she was literally for herself. I was almost 18. I was myself. Like, it was all stuff that she bought. And she was still telling me that he wasn't paying. At that time, he was able to show me that he did. And so it was just, like, totally bizarre. And I think that if a little bit different,
by the way, you're cutting out quite a bit.
Sorry, not sure why my sound is so bad. But basically, I just think the law required the money to go to what it's supposed to go to. And I think that maybe we should consider, like, the overall economic circumstances of people who have to pay child support. Sometimes it's, like, incredibly fair.
Yeah, so I remember with. Oh, by the way, Adrian.
Yeah.
Adrian. There's a lot of background noise on your side.
What up? What happened?
There's a lot of background noise on your side.
Oh shit, sorry.
Yeah, so I remember with like the girl I was seeing at the time. It's she would feel like super fucking guilty whenever I would like get her even like the smallest gifts. And then I was like, what the fuck is up with this, right? And then basically I found out that like even when it came to like school supplies, her mother like would yell at her for like hours, being like, "Do you know how much money I have to spend on you? You're such a waste of money," things like this. Like, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So your dad's paying this much, and your mom's mad because you have to buy fucking supplies for school.
That sounds exactly like my mom. She's an alcoholic, and so she was just like wasting money at bars and coming home, and yeah, like any field trip.
Do you have a sister? Do you have a sister?
I do have a little sister. Yeah, so it was single mom, 2 kids. And yeah, she was making all kinds of life mistakes, and we were just kind of getting by.
Yeah. No, not good. Yeah, there needs to be more work put into that. Because that's a very fucked up situation.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that if, everything were on the up and up, like, more of the shit I needed probably would have been paid for, and maybe she wouldn't have been able to lean as hard into her problems, but whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm like exactly like that. Like, I hate it when people get me stuff. I hate it when people try to take care of me, because I have kind of like always had it ingrained into me that I needed to be like self-sufficient and taking care of my own needs so that other people didn't need to take care of them for me.
Yeah,
I
kind of
very much.
saw it for how much I spent.
Yeah, it's really weird, and like my dad ended up dying like suddenly and unexpectedly, and I wonder what like how things might have been different had I known like the truth at the time.
Yeah, sometimes people hate their parents based on lies that their single parents have told them.
Yeah, that was very real. Such is life. But yeah, so
my issue is with like corporate law or any other part of law. Like when there's like massive issues like this, usually it goes to the Supreme Court or it's like fixed immediately or whatever. Once the issue becomes like obvious with family law, we've known this for how many years and they haven't done shit about it. Like all of these issues with family law, we've known about them for years and years and years, and nothing's been done to fix it.
I mean, part of the problem is that it takes political will to change things, and if you're changing them, then everybody's going to want the new law to be written differently. And so there's oftentimes a challenge in reaching consensus in what the changes should actually be. And that's what keeps any meaningful change from happening. Sometimes it takes a group of legal scholars to write a paper and create like some sort of proposed uniform act that they're trying to get multiple states to pass at the same time, because you can generate more political will doing something like that. I don't know if we could do something like that. I'm not leading the charge, but I know that it's been talked about in legal scholarship and discourse, like law review articles.